right. Oh, let's see here. Got a bunch of stuff that I want to do today. See if we can at least do something coherent, you know? Dead hard drive. This thing has failed me for the last time. Died in my server. I don't know what to do with it now. We can take it apart, but everybody's taken apart a hard drive before, so not that special. Let me get the fan on me, and we gotta start cleaning up. I need to make room, because we're gonna get the desks wet today. We're gonna do some water cooling stuff. I wanna try to get the laser driven with the water cooler going. It's all the same voltage. You just give it all 12 volts and it'll activate. So, after that atrocity that was Friday, and then CosmoQuest raided me on Saturday or Sunday. They raided me on Sunday. No, Monday. They raided me on Monday. I wasn't even live. I appreciate the interim raids for whatever they're worth. Oh man, how's it going? Hello, Turvy. Are you on screen? You're not on screen. What's going on here? I've got like a red thing on OBS. Oh, they added, I guess, an icon to say that you're streaming. Chatty, we get. Yeah, there's my mouse. Okay, they're just too high up in the screen. Chat will eventually make its way on the screen. All right. I gotta get some of this ish out of the way. There's a lot of stupid stuff in the way today. A lot of fasteners. I think we'll probably need some fasteners today. Waiting for fiery wings to come out of the oven. Oh, that sounds good. I just had, I went to Whole Foods and Jeff Bezos was there. We talked a little bit and we made out, but like I got Whole Foods, which is not really that great food. It's all like, I don't know, it seems to be more like packaged stuff lately. Even though it's like, they say it's fresh, but I had some egg rolls, but they were like high school cafeteria egg rolls. They were like 90% breading. So I think I inadvertently had a very carby lunch without even realizing it. There's like a couple bits of cabbage in there, but for the most part, it's just insane amounts of breading. Oh God, I gotta print these at a lower temperature. Stringing. So my 3D printer works again. Oh God, I'm getting behind on all the chores that I need to do. I'm just looking over at the garbage bin over there and it's like overflowing. Shit. I forgot to do that before stream. Yeah, 3D printer's working again. It seems to be functioning all right. So far, so good anyway. I've had, you know, the usual break-in pains and stuff. But I got a new bed. It's like a version 2 of the Creality etched glass bed. It's pretty good. Here, I'm gonna lower the music a little bit. We'll bring that down a little bit. This is FK Productions PHL back when he DJ'd. I like using this one because it's ancient. I don't know if we'll get copyright strikes on it. We'll probably get intermittent copyright strikes throughout the mix. My gluing didn't really work out, but at the same time, I can show off that plastic epoxy is pretty good. Shit, don't lose everything. All right, I'm gonna get all these parts together in terms of what we need. We'll just have to go into a parts bin, huh? How's it going, Celia? How you been? Get some parts over to the other desk. My desks have been completely inundated with parts. You know how it gets? And then you realize that you are sitting in the center of a big pile of trash. The only open spot in the middle of a big pile of trash. A big pile of trash, otherwise known as my lab. My nephew was like, if it's a shop, what are you selling? I'm like, oh man. That's right. I can't quite do it right. I'm too fat. All right, so the clear gray was not great for this project. I don't think it'll look right. I guess I'll keep it, but it's not, I don't have a bin for the shifter project. Maybe I need a bin for the shifter project. Big pile of trash, otherwise known as my life. You know, our self-deprecating humor here does not translate all that well into the real world. I've been on like phone calls with like real people who have like real jobs and stuff like that, and like medical professionals and stuff for the people that I've seen over the past couple weeks. Every 3 months, my job is to get in and out of a hospital, basically, just because of diabetes. It's just checkup stuff. So I've been doing that, and I've dropped little bits of self-deprecating humor in there, and they were met with, "Oh no, you're fine, honey," and it's like, you're not supposed to do that. You're just supposed to chuckle at the state of things. That's not how it's supposed to work. Oh no, you think I'm serious. Oh well. You gotta watch out with the self-deprecating humor around a lot of people. That and talking about gas prices. Holy shit, I didn't know my friends were so dumb. My friends were around in 2004 to 8, you know? They've been around speculative oil pricing. They know where it comes from, but they're blaming the commander-in-chief about it. I'm really pissed off and sick of this. And they're also, and I'm venting about this to you guys, and then we'll put the quash on politics when I'm actually streaming. Put the bosh on it, put the kibosh on it. But like, holy fucking shit. I've lived on the internet since '94, it's all I've lived. Yeah, right? Me too. Sucks. We should live off of the internet for a little bit, huh? But yeah, they're so engrossed in their politics that they're like blaming the president for oil prices, and like whatever regime is active in America has very little influence on what the oil prices are doing. Yeah, and internationally they're way worse, right? But I mean, electric cars are currently not really available for people who are at sort of the brunt of oil pricing, and it sucks. But that's international politics and speculative markets clashing together. But meanwhile, a Discord with a couple of my friends in it is nothing but, you know, the "I did this" sticker and shit like that. Like, I can't do anything about it. I'm not gonna have a big discussion with them because they don't argue politics. They kind of attack. Like, so I'm just not gonna do it. But it's so ignorant, and these guys have had these discussions, and I have sat by the wayside of the same exact discussions in 2008. And I'm just not willing to talk about it with them. It's absolutely wild. I can't believe they've done a full 180 in what, 10 years? 6, 8? Oh well. What can you do, right? Little tribalism is a powerful thing. I walked to work a week ago, my feet still have blisters. Feels worth it. Oh god, that sucks, dude. Yeah, I'm not driving a lot lately. I'm lucky in that regard. I did go to Whole Foods and had a little powwow with Jeff Bezos, and you know, we kissed on the cheeks and the mouth a little bit. And he said that I had to start stream on time, so here I am. Actually try to find projects that I can do, that we can do together and actually get done. Not me and Bezos. Bezos is, you know, he left. He left in a mansion that was on a limo. He didn't say anything about you, Cannibal. He didn't say anything about you. He was talking about the inevitable cannibal wars that are gonna come because of climate change, but other than that. No, he didn't give me any messages either. What the hell? I think he's playing something behind his back. This is actually FK Productions PHL. This is an old set of his. I figured I'd play something for a little variety. I tried to find some more modern, like, PEX stuff, but this is what came up. All right, let's see. I either need to store this stuff off to the side or find a bin for it. Probably could use a bin. A big pile of trash over here. What else? Didn't I have like an empty container? I thought I did. Man, I'm starting to get a headache too. It's gonna suck. I'll hydrate. Maybe I'll hydrate it away. Hydrate the pain away. Where did I find that bin? I thought I had one. Ah, there's one. There's one. I don't think it'll hold all of the shifter project, but I might be able to get some of it in here. Cables and wires. We had like record high temperatures in here and I was dying. I had to reposition the fan to be like directly on me and stuff. Good Lord. Ay, ay, ay. Well, it snapped back and now we actually have cool weather and I'm once again comfortable. This bin has like dirt in the bottom of it, so. I printed a lot of these because the little pegs on them are gonna be super duper weak. Super weak. Jesus, can't talk. Like Shark Week. Like I don't like that Shark Week show on Discovery Channel. That's a Mr. Plinkett joke. Like I said, I don't have original jokes. I like the set because it's a little bit chill. Oh my god, these will eventually, all these parts, once I get the shifter built, I can then take all of the stuff that's left over in the bin and move it away to other stuff. Like put it in storage where like bearings go and stuff like that. Yeah, 75. We're basically in the same weather system, aren't we, Chester? 75 here, ridiculous. Is this thing like built specifically to flex? I think it is. This has like a little flex in it. So what I'm waiting for on the shifter, here is to get the 8mm threaded rods. Believe it or not, 8mm threaded rods are actually kind of hard to come by. At least ones that I'm not spending a ridiculous amount of money on. And I didn't know what the height was. So I got these, and these were way too short. I ordered some other ones. It turns out they were wrong, and I had to do a whole return thing. That's why I was at Whole Foods. Aside from getting the carbiest egg roll that I've ever had in my entire life. So these rods are too small. They're not large enough. It needs like a 150, 122mm rod, depending on how far you want to penetrate into the lock nuts and have overruns so you can add mounts to the thing. Right, because I'm modifying what this person originally... The person originally had kind of like a whole thing that you could build, and it had its own particular height because he added extra height with this sequential shifter thing. So I'm not doing the sequential because I already got an entire shifter that already does sequential. So what I'm doing is I'm building his project, but without one of the levels. And so I had to figure out what that height was, and I didn't know until I printed a lot of the parts. I guess I probably could have stitched some of the parts together in CAD. All the files are free, so it's, you know, not that big of a deal. But then once I got all that done, I figured out what the height was and then looked on Amazon for the specific threaded rods. And of course, I'm stuck with Amazon now. I should have originally done this project by using Bolt Depot because it would have been cheaper for the bulk. And at this point, I would have had all the parts by now. So next time I do something like this, I gotta definitely go to Bolt Depot. I just don't have the backlogs of you know, the variety of supplies in the backlogs to do something like this off the cuff, as off the cuff as I wanted to. So that's where that is. I should be getting the new rods today, but they said by 10 p.m. So there's a significant amount of delay in there. 10 p.m. So we may do the shifter on Thursday. PETG, strength test. Jesus Christ. Man, when it shears, it shears. Woof. Look at that. It's straight up like a CD-ROM. It just shattered. Yeah, I throw these at Aquatic Life like ninja stars. You buy them by the meter. Interesting. A 1 meter rod would have given me enough, I think. Water cool an Amiga. Really need to. And we like to talk about water cooling a lot around here. And I got this. I got the plug. I got the plug for the gas pedal. This is unfortunately not working out for Flatulent Gonad, which doesn't reflect on me in any way at all whatsoever. Gonad has a specific set of criteria that he's trying to reach that are not mine. Basically what I'm doing is I'm lifting up the floor, having my own pad, and then having the gas pedal on that pad to simulate the feel of a BMW. This one's the trash one. So what I'm trying to do is replicate what a BMW gas pedal feels like. It feels a little bit like 5 gum. The thing about the BMW gas pedal is you gotta have your heel down on the floor, and then that's how I operate it, right? Instead of, and I think what Gonad does, he puts his whole foot on the pedal. So like that, heel down, press the pedal. As long as that feels remotely correct, that's fine by me, but the sidewall is here, and then on the other side, there's another sidewall. I usually have my knees resting against the door on the center console, and then my foot goes here and it rests against the sidewall. So I don't know what that's gonna be like for my pedal setup, which is gonna be all on the rails. I may have to put up something that'll allow me to rest my foot. But since I'm not gonna be modifying this thing at all, I have bought the appropriate connector. I hope. I hope I got the right connector. It's not looking good. Oh, don't I need to like... Hold on. How to operate connector. How to doing connector. I think it just plugs straight in. It's got 2 tabs on the sides. Might not be the right connector. No, it looks like it is. Would go in like this. Yeah, and there's the keyway. Okay. Man, these are jams. Holy shit. Hope this doesn't get copyright. I'll have to check the VOD later. I mean, you know, I probably could have made off like a bandit if I just bought the front end of a BMW. Is this the wrong connector? It doesn't look like the wrong connector. Everything about it seems correct. Unless it was assembled wrong. No, it can go in this way too. Maybe this will get all the keyways. I want FK Productions to fly in here and be like, this sounds familiar. That'd be awesome. I don't know, maybe I can further eviscerate this connector and make it fit. Because it seems like the shroud around the outside isn't really cooperating. How does that work? I have to do some connector investigation. Seemed like it was the right thing. I thought it was. Why a 400 gigabyte drive on a Raspberry Pi? What's it doing? This is my jam. Prices for the shorties on Amazon looks pretty dang high for some threaded rod. Yeah, they're all very high priced. Yeah, I spent a little bit too much on that threaded rod. Can't get over it though. The damage is done. It's unfortunate. Might be the wrong connector. Might be the wrong series of car. It's very similar. It's 6-pin. They're all 6-pin. I got the year right. Maybe I think there's 2 separate gas pedals, and so this might be the other one. I don't know. I do not know. Don't know, chat. See, that snaps down like that, and then it doesn't insert any further. There's no other way to manipulate it other than pressing it as hard as I can, but it meets up against stuff. Nah, I'm waiting on threaded rod for the gear shifter, so I'm kind of putting it away. Title, it's all in the title, man. There's actually an electric Fiero project what had 2 gas pedals because they put in an EV motor for the front wheels and then they used gas on the rear wheels. So they were able to take both the dynamics of understeer and oversteer in order to get around a corner. So they'd start with the gas motor in the rear wheel drive and go until it starts to kick out the back and then get on the other gas pedal to pull the car out of the turn. Really weird, right? Yeah, I guess the second one on the instructor's side, that's the other use case. I like take this apart. Let me get to this novel. to get into electronics and hardware and making all this stuff. It's really interesting. I'm trying to get into it right now. I just got into it. I kind of grew up with this stuff. I grew up tinkering around with stuff and like taking things from my daily life and improving upon them, quote unquote. And at first, you know, you take stuff apart to learn how it works, and then eventually stuff starts to go back together. Hey, Lone Star, how's it going? Hey, everybody check out the other Lone Star. He streams occasionally. How you doing? We're playing the FK Productions mix today, just for a little bit of variety. Nice 2014 techno. This is the wrong plug. I spent $6 on this fucking thing. I'm gonna get my $6 out of this. Ah! Stupid thing. Ah. I think if I take the shroud off of it, I can just use it as a plug to plug into to fit the pins on this. I wanted this to be a little bit more elegant. I didn't want to have to like solder wires to this thing, you know? That's what almost killed the Dude on top here. Oh, the two gas pedals? Yeah, there are like ice driving cars that do the two gas pedal thing as well, I think. Annelids for the museum. Oh, that's cool. I mean, look, hey, you can say it's not very exciting content, but it is interesting. Yeah, so anyway, the wonderful thing about the BMW gas pedal is it literally just outputs a voltage level. You give it 5 volts, and then it outputs 0 to 5 volts. It's got a doubled circuit inside of it. 2 of the same thing because of all the gas pedal scares that were from the early... God, we're talking about gas prices, and we're talking about people accidentally accelerating their cars. We've gone back 10 years. I swear we went through a time portal at some point, because nobody learned anything from the previous gas prices. All right, anyway, I'm gonna stop bitching about my dumb friends. Anyway, so this gas pedal uses a no-contact capacitive sensor with a circuit board that twists, and it twists on a very simple mechanism. Flatulent Gonad got the same thing, and he said, oh, that makes a clicking noise. I'm gonna put a bunch of dampers around the entire thing. And then he got it working in his setup, and he's like, I don't really like it. He's able to buy these things for like literally a tenth of the cost of what I'm paying for something like this. But the cool thing about this is that it's outputting a 0 to 5 volt level, and it feels like a regular car pedal. I don't have to put hydraulics on it. I don't have to put a cable with a spring on it. This is just literally output. It's like the perfect addition to a sim setup. It really is. I just have to get it positioned correctly. So I tried to buy the pigtail connector so that I could hook up my own wires to this thing, but it seems like it's not compatible. This might be newer or older, and the difference, I believe, is just in the shroud. So maybe I can get that shroud off, and then I can plug this in properly. So like, it starts to go, but then some kind of a keyway gets in the way. I don't understand why they would change it up, but here we are. That's a... Ah, crap! I forget what kind of shrimp that is again. Those things are hardcore. All they do is move a limb fast enough to create a vacuum pocket in the water. It changes states because PV equals nRT, and that whole state change table. There's somebody in here going for a thermodynamics exam soon. But yeah, it creates, it turns, because of the sudden reduction in pressure, water turns into gas and then back into water so fast that it makes an explosion. Those tables can, yeah, those heat tables and the state tables are fun. They're fun. Is that what that snapping shrimp? Isn't there a different? There's another name for those. They see a far greater spectrum of light frequencies than we do. It's pretty crazy. They've got much more complicated eyes. I'm not gonna say better, but more complicated. I don't believe my food can see better than I can. All right, put that there where I can brush up against it, and then it can fall over and scare the bejesus out of me. Check out my old print bed. Good God. Good God, y'all. I probably could have printed on the glass side for a little while, but the PETG was getting so sticky and the glass had been through so many heat cycles that it all started to come off. So I got the V2 of this surface, which is a slightly different technique. I don't think this I think is stuff on the glass. I don't know why it wouldn't pull up the stuff on the glass. It just pulled up sections of glass, but the new one has like an etching stuff done to it. It's been an amazing print surface, and so far so good, right? When I migrated over to Super Slicer, I think a couple of the settings fell by the wayside, or they're interpreted differently. So my first layer is no longer super duper slow. It's like fast as hell. Are Teflon sheets a good surface to print on? I don't know. I don't know. Look, so the whatever the circuit board material is, that fiberglass is actually supposedly really good for PETG, but I didn't go over to that. You can get cheap sheets of the stuff, and I think that's what I'll do next. But for the next like year, my printer will be running on the updated version of this piece of glass. It actually works really well. It works really, really well. Prints, when it cools off at the temperatures that I print at, the prints just pop off. I can squirt it with a little Windex and I get that familiar crackling noise. I don't know what happened to this stuff, because I guess it just denatured over time or something. But with the settings that I have now, my first layer is printing way, way, way faster than PETG has any right to print. So, is Super Slicer as seen on TV? I don't think so, man. It's not for vegetables. Although I could put a blade on the end of the printer. Super Slicer is just a fork of the Prusa slicer. It works pretty well. I don't know. It was just, I mean, Fat and On suggested it, and it, you know, whatever. It was the time to upgrade, you know? Time to go to modern stuff. I have a feeling a little bit of cursory Googling can give you plenty of information about Teflon sheets versus 3D printing, because it's with PETG is extremely sticky. It will stick to the microscopic structure of your glass, and it will accidentally pull it up because it doesn't want to separate because it's so well bonded. Teflon is an extremely dense polymer. I don't know much else about it, but mostly it is known for not sticking, and that's not good. You don't want that. You want stuff to stick, but you don't want it to overstick. So what people do with PETG is they put down Elmer's glue as a release material. It's actually an interim material that helps the print come off and not do this to your surface. But I have glue sticks. I don't want to mess with them. Oh crap, I'm out of storage space. Uh-oh, hold on. I'm gonna go to D drive, and then I gotta go to desktop, go to recording. I'm gonna take all of these except for today. I always forget to do this. Today's 3/8. Take all these, and then we cut, and I paste. This is my archiving method. Unfortunately, it's relying on a singular hard drive. I can't afford to do a second NAS. So, I've got 6 terabytes here that's gonna fill up eventually. Until I do something like a VOD channel. I really do need to do a VOD channel. I'll need to spool up a VOD channel and just absolutely destroy it with uploads. I'll need to do like multiple a day for a little while. And then I'll let everybody know where it is. Because I don't want, you know, you don't get a lot of subscribers when you just destroy stuff. Pistol shrimp, that's the one I was looking. That's the 0.041 joules. Joules. Plasma forms, yeah. They did a lot of there's been quite a bit of acoustic research in creating like a spherical sound wave that'll meet at a middle and then create plasma by making a cavity. Can you add logic to your prime stream action to archive the record of the last stream? I don't know. I know people do that on Twitch, and they do that so that they have all of their VODs are hosted on Twitch. I can put that onto YouTube because it's like I haven't been doing that, and so I don't want to like set a precedent. Teflon. I don't know, why are you suddenly trying to reinvent printing surfaces? Dies of concussion or confusion, depending on how you want to read that. Yeah. All right. Start gathering the parts lazily. Gathering the parts. I'll probably print this under the new surface. It wouldn't take very long now. The new print scheme is so quick on that first layer. Prints are like not over 2 hours often. Like something like this would probably be like an hour. Pretty crazy. Credit where it's due. Boop. That's the music I'm stealing today. That's what I'm doing. All right, I need to get the stuff off of the board. Get some of the other things over here. I need all the stuff. You got the stuff, I got the money. You don't have the money, I can't give you the stuff. Careful. This MKS Mini is going to be the new driver of Burn the Subs. It's going to give us our ability to run the laser cutter. It'll be pretty cool. If it works, I don't doubt it will. Just need to put a little effort in. So I found out that the Omnipod needs to have its own phone, or as they call it, control unit, for the next couple months until the new version. Because it's like, all right, so with the insulin pump, they're like, you're approved for the Omnipod Dash. And I'm like, okay, cool. And it shows like a cell phone, and it shows the pod, and then it shows the Dexcom. I'm like, all right, well, that's cool. That's nice. And I look up on their website, and they say supported phones, and they have Samsung Galaxy on there. And I'm like, well, that's basically a Pixel, right? And so I'm looking up the stuff, and everything seems okay. I'm not really finding a whole lot of information. I get a phone call today that was sort of clarifying a few things and talking about the system and why I moved over, right? So part of the discussion was some of the problems that I was having with T-Slim, and they weren't very major. But then one of the other things is like, I was like, you know, they were like, you get the control unit and you get this. I'm like, oh, so can I use my normal phone? Not until, I'm getting the Omnipod 5 Dash, which requires the control unit. In the next question mark number of months, they will come up with the Omnipod 5, and that's the one that can use my cell phone. And I have to get like weird approvals and stuff like that. So the Dash comes with a control unit. The non-Dash is better. And they're like, you won't have to pay to upgrade or anything like that. It's like, okay, what? So I don't know, that's a little confusing, and I think they're marketing as their head up their own asses or something, because that's totally weird. Totally weird that the one with the extra qualifications, aka the word dash on the end of it, isn't the better unit, and that the regular one with just the number is it doesn't make much tangible sense. Very strange scheming, but apparently they're not fully cell phone yet. So I'm gonna have to carry around 2 cell phones, like one is a control unit, quote unquote. I'm wondering if I can surreptitiously move that app from one phone to the other and then use my regular phone against their better judgment. I don't know what the specifics are of moving an app from a phone to a phone. Like, I think I need to go into developer mode in order to have it install, probably, but I'll look it up because somebody will figure it out. Yeah. Literally every single stream that I've ever done has started with stream start soon. Like literally every single stream that I've ever done, ever. I've never, not even once, in 5 years of streaming, or however the fuck long I've been doing it, have neglected to put up stream start soon. And only a couple times have I ever forgotten to get rid of it. I don't understand when people come in and go, what is this? What's the worst that could happen? Yeah. Rooted the phone to give the app more permissions? Maybe, but it's just like a Bluetooth device. Yeah, people are just confused in general. That's true. I allowed this thing to get dusty. Should have put something over it. I need like cabinets in the shop. The silicon tube also picks up a lot of stuff. I think what I want to do is I want to get some of those braided sleeves and put it over top of this stuff, just so that the sticky stuff isn't as exposed to dust. I mean, it's still going to, but encoding overloaded. What's up? Oh man, I called you flatulent gonad during the whole intro. Turbo nad, I should have said. I was talking about the gas pedals. Check this out. Oh wait, I put it all the way over there. I'll go get it. Look at this crap. This crap that I bought. We're waiting on threaded rod that I'm probably gonna get today, but we're waiting on threaded rod in order to do the gear shift. So the gear shift we will work on soon. Ah, thank you, Cannibal Jesus. Gifting a Tur1 sub to Turbo Nerd. Turbo Nad. 19 gift subs, man. Thank you so much for gifting the Turbo Nad. So, I bought the pigtail to go to the gas pedal, and I was talking about how my setup is supposed to basically emulate a BMW, but in your setup, you're kind of like stapling everything together, and you're not really trying to emulate this gas pedal feel. Trying to emulate what you're used to. Hopefully the other products, the other brands are using as simple of a signal, but I got this pigtail and it doesn't fit. Like, I think it was the right year. I think it's the right year, but it just doesn't fit. So I think what I can do is get rid of the shroud, and that'll just plug in lightly. You know, after all the controversy with people accidentally slamming on their accelerator pedals, I think they've put some extra fanciful design into the gas pedals. So yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to chop up the socket or solder to the pins or anything like that. I could, I just don't really want to do that. I'd rather just use a plug. So this plug looks like it's the right thing. It's the right number of pins, and they're all in the right positions, but I just can't get it to plug in. It just doesn't plug in. It doesn't go any further than that. They fit DuPont Javis. Huh. Yeah, I was talking to, because yeah, the system on this thing is a capacitive encoder, and it's got a circuit board behind it that spins with a little gear thing attached to this part. Yeah, I don't know. It's weirdly complicated, but it's actually very good for a simulator setup, because it outputs a 0 to 5 volt signal. It's very clean, very easy to use. Easy to use and utilize. I guess I'll put that up. Man, that's stacking up. That's a little too tall for a stack there. That's getting a little tall. It's getting a little tall. Damn ceiling tiles are falling down too. I mean, yeah, you can scale within that range, right? There's 2 different outputs, but it's a repeated circuit. The other thing that I got to do is I need to get the laser down from the board, because we'll use that. I'm hoping this stuff sets quick enough that we can get a good water seal on it. We'll put that together first. Let me go get the thing from the other board. For that, I need a hex key, and then a devil may care attitude. Or smaller than that. Use a smaller one than that. Hopefully it's this size. I'll bring 2. That one's too small. No, that one's definitely too small. I think maybe it's this size. Gotta like climb over stuff. The stuff that did my big pinky injury. That thing is just a scab now. gonna be around for a while. Hopefully not too long, but it's still here. All right, luckily that unplugs easily. Unplug the rest of this stuff. I probably need to redo all the wiring. That's probably something that I need to do, because they're all like old speaker wires and stuff, and probably needs a little bit of an upgrade. We're talking about a system that has to work for like multiple years around here, so I need to do my best by it instead of just fixing 3 things and then hoping everything doesn't explode. Boy, this is harder than it looks. That's gonna fall on the ground if I don't catch it properly. Please, please. Okay, got it. Oh, and I need a screwdriver over here for the other ones. Damn it. This requires more torque than the wrench is allowing. There we go. I managed to not drop either of those screws. Moving up in the world. All right, there's that. So this is the 1.4 watt laser on a little linear track holder, which is a good amount of metal. I mean, that would probably provide a little bit of cooling for the laser. We want to water cool it because it's funny. Discord died? What happened? Great. Same service as Spotify. Luckily, Mixcloud isn't on that network, huh? Are the Russians getting back at us for shutting down Pornhub in their country? They're like, you want to play this kind of game? We'll take your Discord. Nope, that one's gone. Geez, I should have used snaps to put this thing together. Maybe magnets. I could just pull the components off like it was Star Trek. All right, there's the driver. We need the driver board. I'm worried about Spotify. I might have to actually have a social interaction. This is unacceptable. Here I am. Welcome. I need more seltzer. Hold on. More seltzer. Yeah, so we're gonna work a little bit on Burn the Subs today. Remember that project? I'm Swedish. How dare you make me do a social interaction? You're not quite a Finn though. You got a little bit of social interaction in you as a Swede. Can imagine a scenario where the Ukraine uses Discord to communicate. Look, I wouldn't put it past. They were using Baofeng radios that weren't even encoded, right? Like, like what is this? There was no encryption at all. You can get encryption on consumer grade radios, and they weren't using that. Lordy, lordy. I really hope none of this stuff is copyright. I have no idea. The VOD will be the ultimate determination of that. All right, so this bin is full of pipes and tubes and links and stuff. I don't know how much we'll probably need it. We've already caulked all of the distribution manifolds. I keep saying like distributor manifold and stuff, and that's not distribution manifold. The splitter thingy. The block. We got this fancy pantsy little boy right here, which I'm pretty sure that I can find on GrabCAD, but this is the MKS Mini. Sorry, BTT SKR Mini E3. It didn't have a 5th driver, So I swapped it for another 3D printer board. I wanted to have 2 drivers on the Z-axis. But 4 motors is pretty good for burn the subs, because we only really need 2. We'll say add a camera axis, which I've wanted to do, but we're not doing that yet. Now, do I run it with a screen? I don't think I run the screen on the Clipper setup. I don't think I do. I'll have it report statuses. Or you could log into Octo Clipper and see what it's doing. Spotify's down. So it's a service? What is that? Does that mean that's Amazon related? Is that Amazon thingy? Which would mean we're probably going down soon? Uh-oh. Yeah, is your Spotify coming through a AWS status time? Let's check AWS. Good. This is inefficient. There's probably a better way to do this. Yeah, you can do a y-axis. Yeah, you can do that, but I wanted to have I wanted to be able to manipulate the tilt, because the CR10S has the 2 stalks, and I never did anything to kind of level that. Although what I learned from getting the 2 axes, looks like AWS is okay. Take that with a grain of salt. Yeah, it's true. It is powered by AWS anyway. Down for me or not? What is it? Down detector. Everybody's spiking. Ah! Ah! Gas Buddy's doing it. What the fuck is gas? Anyway. Destiny, no! Snapchat just doesn't work. Verizon, fuck that. AT&T is doing normal. Spectrum, nothing. YouTube, starting to go up. Wow. Google, iNet, Reddit, doing okay. DoorDash, Gmail's weird. I've never had problems with Gmail. Then again, I don't look at it a lot. Yeah, the big boys are starting to register. Roblox is solid. What? You think this is international hacking? I think President Biden said, I want these websites down now! And he hit a big button on his desk, because he apparently controls everything. He's got a big damn button on his desk. And he goes, blah, and he punches it. And they go, what is it, sir? And he goes, I don't remember. I have dementia, or whatever the internet's saying today. And then all of the internet goes down for one person. Do they have? It's just user reports right now. They don't have really like a reason. Do you guys know Discord is a voice over IP app? Oh my god. The comments are fun to read. Oh, it's a lever? Oh, sorry. I get my news off of stickers on gas pumps. I did, the stickers on the gas pumps cited some references, but I didn't check them because I trust them completely. Increase API error rate and PER, push error rate. Huh. API error and PER. Huh. I just hope I'm not going to get blamed for any of these internet services going down. As the person who knows computers in the house typically does. Get all my news from Canadian truckers. We're protesting lockdowns. We don't have lockdowns. We're protesting wearing a piece of cloth. You don't have to do that anymore. You think it's DDoS? They're DDoSing it? If they DDoS Twitch, I'm gonna have a little baby rage and then I'm gonna explode. I will literally turn into ash. I'll burst into ash. Unresolved API error. Ugh. The Russians are getting petulant about them shutting off our porn. Their porn. Our porn to them. How does that work? You got logged out? So it might be something else. Okay. Yeah, I don't listen, I'm not big into IT. Everybody seems to believe that if you're into tech at all, you know everything about IT and internet structure and how everything works, and that's just not the case with me. I don't know anything, man. I'm real dumb. I'm real dumb. I get very annoyed when people give me too much credit for being dumb, but like with IT stuff, I don't know a ton. I don't know exactly how the internet is put together. It's a very complicated series of machines. It's what I said 4 minutes ago about the outage. Something's not quite right. Yeah, that's their ooh-woo, oopsie-poopsie. We fucky-wucky the internet. Ooh-woo, ooh-woo. Server's on fire and we're fanning it off with our fannies. And you're like, website, can I just get like something clear? Like, like I don't need your cute fucking message. Things are pretty fucky wuggy right now. You guys have to understand. Oh, thanks for the follows, guys. You have to understand that when I'm streaming, like I'm completely isolated from anything happening in the outside world. There is a period of time after I'm done streaming that I will go and I'll check on a couple websites just to see if the world exploded or if war were declared. And the other day, war were declared. It was pretty crazy. So I don't get that information while I'm streaming. And I don't want it, actually, to be honest, because I'm up here doing my thing, and I need to focus on that. It's interesting the way that works, because, yeah, I get completely isolated from the rest of the world. So, like, if different services go down, I'm not doing anything with those services. I mean, is Gmail still up? I don't know. I don't care. I could turn down detector into like a big monitor that's somewhere on the wall, and then I'd have an idea of that. But you got shut down mid-convo? Holy shit. Yeah, I'm just straight up like, I don't look at that screen. I do, you know, Discord starts on this computer automatically, so I get a little bit of an idea, but is it actually working right now? It looks like it's working, but it probably hasn't tried to phone in to get an update on data. Discord does that. It kind of sleeps until you click on it. Yeah. Jesus, Jacose took one for the team typing that on out. Let's see here. Everything is dead. Everything sucks. All the services are down. They're getting DDoSed or something. It's probably a little deeper than that. Maybe some infrastructure exploded. Do we run out of Mix? No, we're still going. As long as Mixcloud still operates in this crazy world. We'll get started in just a minute here. Reddit's looking good. Yeah, there's no reported incidents. It's pretty nice. Reddit is AWS too. That's weird. Rage banned Russia. It's not actually having trouble. It's just the drop in the amount of troll bot accounts. Yeah, there you go. I don't know. Maybe it depends on geography, where the cables are. Let's hope nobody's running around cutting cables. Apparently that's the thing that could possibly happen. What are you doing here on vacation? Go be on vacation. I'm happy you're watching me on your time off. I'm a little worried, but I'm also happy you're watching me on your time off. Yeah, go do vacation things. No, hey, if that's how you relax, that's how you relax. I don't judge. Well, I did just judge, but you know. I'm relaxing. Don't you worry about blank. Bop. Should we get started? I'm kind of feeling the need to get started. Yesterday, this place was like 90 degrees. Now, the basement usually lags the outside temperature, so it was 75 out, and this place took all day, and then it got really warm, and it sucked. I was super uncomfortable. But today, the temperature dropped, so I've got cool air on me right now, but the whole shop is actually warm because the ground is warm from it being 75 degrees out yesterday. Oh, God. Weird weather going on. It was very windy, but we didn't lose power. I think in the next couple weeks I may have to miss a stream because we're gonna get a generator installed. We're gonna be one of those places. Oh well. Anyway, yeah, that's true. That would probably, yeah, maybe they are held against doing that because that would trigger World War III. Yay! International politics. How much fun is that? Why did you know that my door was about to go off? If that's the posts that I'm expecting, then hold on, give me 1 sec. I'm gonna mute me and I'll be right back. That was my foam seat cushion that I bought for the driving setup. It seems to me like in order to be in a comfortable driving position, the difference between an office chair and an actual car chair is that in a car chair, your butt is a little bit lower to the frame and your legs are higher. So I've done that legs are higher part. I need to do the butt is lower. And in order to simulate the butt being lower, I'm putting a foam wedge on the seat so that my thighs, the underside of my thighs are, whatever that part of the body is, the opposite part to the knee, whatever the hell that is. Anyway, that part I'm hoping to support, and that'll take the stress off of your heels holding your feet in an upward position. I think that'll work. I think ergonomically that's what's required. So I put a foam cover, a foam thing on my chair, and then I can sit as if I'm in a car with the real pedals in front of me. And I think that's gonna go a long way to make me feel like it's actually a car seat. Although the seat that I have, the Knoll Life chair that I have, is it's a very big chair. It's a very big chair in terms of the seat pad area. So I don't think the foam is gonna exactly cover the whole thing, but I think it'll be enough that I can sit as if I'm in a car. That's kind of the goal of that thing. I'm kind of, so also I'm waiting for the files to copy here. Once they've copied over, we'll get started. Why does it drop down that much when it's going hard drive to hard drive? It's going SSD to a platter drive. Yeah, that's pretty much essentially what Discord tweeted is go touch grass. Yeah, infrastructure versus war, that's like a big deal. That's sort of like all of the attack vectors, you know? But if they cut the wrong cables, they're gonna be in a lot of trouble. It's a Seagate Barracuda, I believe. No, whatever the one is I just put in the server, like Wolf thingy-majig. It's like one of those drives that's meant to like have longevity to it. It was $130. I bought it at the beginning of the pandemic. How much space is left on this thing? This is a good mix, by the way. I think I played it before on stream, and I'm not sure how much of it is censored usually. Yeah, I got about a quarter of 6 gigabytes. Each stream being about 12 to 13 gigs. Sorry, 6 terabytes. I kept saying gigabytes, sorry. Father, how could you? You said the wrong thing. Bus number 3. General. Yeah, I don't know how to get the specific type of drive that it is. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, it's working well. Hard drives either are working perfectly fine or you hate them forever. Did it destroy all of my data? Yes, no. That's how you evaluate them. Same thing with like cell phones. Like, yeah, hey, you guys want to see my new phone? Does it have a bigger screen? Yeah, it's got a real nice screen. Does it have battery life? Yeah, it's got a lot of battery life. How's the camera? The camera's better than the previous one. Yeah. That's it. That's phones. Like, what are you gonna talk about? I don't know. There's nothing there. What does it do? It's better, like a little bit better. One thing I don't like about my phone though right now is that it's taller than the other one. I'll get used to it though, as I am about to embark on being one of those idiots for a couple months that carries around 2 phones. Because the second phone is going to be for the insulin pump. Apparently, I was wrong. I was wrong about my expectations for the Omnipod 5 Dash. The Daesh, aren't we supposed to call them something else? Anyway, ISIL, yeah, that's the one. So the Omnipod ISIL terrorist organization, the Omnipod 5 Dash, Omnipod 5 Dash, right? So the Dash is not the good one that I want. It's got an extra naming thing on it. The Omnipod 5 is apparently the good one. So, but they're the same thing, whatever. Insurance will cover the Omnipod 5 dash, not dash, dash. When the Omnipod 5 comes out, I can upgrade without additional cost. The 5 dash requires you to have some kind of a cell phone that has one app on it that is the control of the pump. I have a brand new cell phone. I have a Pixel 6. I'm wondering if they require like mobile data. We'll have to see when I get the thing, because then we'll be able to figure out whether or not it has mobile data, or if there's something special about the TX and RX that it has wirelessly. There shouldn't. The whole thing should just be Bluetooth, right? Low energy Bluetooth would be perfectly acceptable for that sort of thing. So I don't know exactly what the deal is with that, right? Been working in mobile retail for a few years now. Weirdest thing I noticed is everybody's got a smartphone. I used to have 2 smartphones just because one of my phones was specific for like classified kind of work stuff. But it's actually I had 3 at one point. one had the classified stuff. The other one was for testing with our sort of the devices that we were working with, and then my personal phone. So I don't look forward to it, but I'm gonna have to have 2 cell phones for a little while until that new system comes out. I have a wrinkle in my neck right here. What is that? It's because I've gotten fat. Holy shit! I gotta lose some weight, guys. I gotta lose some weight. I got wrinkles in places that I don't want them. I got like one of those frog necks. APK extractor that gives you the APK. Disassemble the APK and look at the code. Holy shit, that's a little bit above my pay grade. Yeah, I don't know what the I didn't see any app on the Play Store when I looked, but I'm wondering about like transporting the APK or whatever it is, transporting the actual files from phone to phone. But I could just run it on the other phone. That's probably a lot more capable than whatever phone they've gotten approved with the app. I don't know. I don't know what the program is called specifically. I'll know when I get the pump. But the pump is called the Omnipod. All right. Oh yeah, we're waiting for that transfer. Damn it. I keep wanting to start, but we're just waiting for a file transfer to finish. It's got a couple hundred gigs to go. No, it's got like 30 gigs to go. 25 gigs to go. That was close in my quick estimate. Father, you didn't estimate the number of gigs properly. What's wrong with you? Yeah, we're just waiting for this to finish and then we'll get started. This mix, by the way, is from 2014, from a billion years ago. I like it a lot. It's from Big John, which is actually FK Productions PHL. Come a long way since this, though. I was hoping you would happen to be like poking into the stream and would see that I'm playing this mix, but we'll catch him one day. We'll catch him one day. Waiting and waiting and waiting. But yeah, I'm a little disappointed in Omnipod. I don't know what still has to happen. They always blame approval stuff, and it probably is always to blame, is that they need to get approvals for a bunch of stuff. But I was hoping that I could just run my insulin pump as another app on my phone. That's what I did when I got the hashtag We Will Not Wait, the Night Scout, which was a custom program that hackers created in order to run your your Bluetooth Dexcom, get the numbers on the phone, and then transmit them to a smartwatch. This is back in like 2014, 15? That's when this mix came out. That I was doing all that stuff with that technology. It was pretty cool. It was on my old HTC One. No, yeah, HTC One was doing all that stuff. It was pretty cool, and that's what I was hoping this Omnipod upgrade would be. It probably will be in a couple months, they say. Probably not 2 months, probably not 3 or 4 or 5, probably 6 to 8, I'm guessing, or 10, or it'll be 2 years. But, you know, this stuff is always like that. Unless the technology is on my fucking lap at the moment, I don't believe it exists. So, I don't know. Anyway, I'm getting roped into that. That's just what I'm gonna do. I have murdered chat. Chat is dead. Is Twitch still up? I have a feeling we're gonna lose chat at some point during the stream. Because of all the crap that's going on right now. Nah, everything's still functioning. Okay, good. Just had to check. Yeah, I asked them soon as in a number of years or soon as in like a large number of months. And she didn't have a straight reply for me because, you know, again, she probably doesn't have all that information. You know, they're just salespeople. But she was like, not years. So, the order of months. All right, we're almost ready to start. We're ready to start. That ended. Let's, I can't fade out on Mixcloud. It's just a 100% volume kind of thing. So I'm gonna very carefully fade out this song. Ooh, that was, okay. Shut up, start soon. So. What are we working on? Well, I'm waiting on threaded rods. I don't know how much of that pre-stream area was muted. I'll have to check, maybe like mid-stream, and just see if that mix is kosher for me to use in the future, because I like it a lot. It's a friend of mine mixing in Costa Rica. He gets better vacations than I do because he DJs. Um, but he made a pretty awesome little chill mix that I'd like to play for the intros to just switch it up a little bit every now and then. But anywho, I'm here. We just had record high heats. The world is on fire. Everybody is being stupid, and all of my friends have gotten political. So let's escape for a little while and just work on projects. We could just work on projects, right? We don't need to worry about all the bullshit out there right now. We need a little bit of assembly time and a little bit of seat time. So what's going on with the projects around here? I've got a couple different fires. I'm gonna unplug that for my intro. I got a bunch of different fires burning on a bunch of different burners. We need to work on burn the subs, but then we also need to work on, I want to get that actual shifter working. I want to get the pedals working. I want to get these boards that took off a little chunk of my pinky. I want to get those hoisted up on there as well. And I've gotten parts for most of those, but for the shifter, I do not have the long 8mm threaded rods. It turns out it's a bit of a unicorn part, or it's a bit of a unicorn part because of things that I've done. I decided to buy my fasteners on Amazon, which is typically not that big of a deal, but this project required larger parts than I normally keep around. So 8mm is way over the, like 5mm is about the limit around here. 5mm can hold up like hundreds of pounds of force. I don't need anything above that. And we've got some 6mm hardware sitting around. 8mm is totally out of the question. You know, 10mm is what you would hoist like a car suspension on. It's ridiculous, right? So I don't deal with M sizes that large. Tried to order them through Amazon. The algorithm for Amazon did not predict that I would be ordering 8mm hardware. So Chester Willard, thank you for subbing for 25 months. Yeah, 2 years, man. 8mm threaded rods is what's used in 3D printers. Those are called Acme rods. Those are called Acme rods. I'm talking about regular 1.25mm standard bolt threads. So anywho, I'm waiting on parts, and they're gonna get here tonight. I decided to pony up and spend money on longer. Yeah, it's a little over 2 years. That's all right. That's all right. We're trying to. Okay. So the threaded rods are in the mail. Although Amazon says they'll get there tomorrow, and you order, and then they go, there was a problem. They're gonna get there next week, and you're like, I trusted you. But anyway, so that's kind of what I'm dealing with right now. It's unfortunate because I've been 3D printing like my life depended on it. Now that we got the printer back up and running, it's been doing an absolutely magical job. Well, I don't have the glass plate here. I showed at the very beginning of the intro, the glass plate. There are large chunks missing from it. So I bought a new one. They updated it a little bit, and I got the newer update of it. And now if I rub it with a paper towel, it shreds the paper towel. I don't know why. But without any additional chemicals or sprays or anything on the board, it prints perfectly, cools down. I spritz it with Windex, pops off without any drama. It doesn't like stick totally hard. I'm gonna have to see how that does, because with the heat cycling, I think it's a factor of the heat cycling. I could be wrong about this. A factor of the heat cycling where the grains of the glass start to become a little bit weaker in amongst themselves, and then eventually your print pulls up chunks of glass. That or repeated printing over the surface and peeling the prints off. Maybe that weakens up the grain structures of the glass and allows them to be pulled off a little bit easier. It's just the way they wear. It's the way a glass pad wears 3D printing. I've gotten perfect prints though out of the thing lately, and I've printed a lot of stuff. So what I've done is I've printed stuff for the shifter, and I've printed stuff for the water cooling setup of Burn the Subs. We now have all of the components that I would need in order to do a laser test. And what I'd like to do, and we'll see if we can do it today, it might bleed out into Thursday, or maybe this whole thing will go perfectly well, and that's just it. What I would like to do, by the way, I also printed out a bunch of extra parts for the 3D printer, because I got a little nervous about the parts that have been in there for over a year, the 3D printed parts. I would also, as a backup project, I got a bunch of 3D models for the Titan Aero V6 head. Oh, I forgot I did this. I forgot about that. I was very angry. Yeah, so for the Titan Aero V6 print head, the one that I use, there are a lot of modifications to this that I've done, including putting a circuit board up here and then having a drag chain come off of the back of this thing. So what I did is I actually got the 3D models for all of the hardware parts. What I'd like to do in Fusion is take this, put it onto the model that I have, the plate for the Creality CR10S, put all the parts where they go, get rid of this, and then make my own. But that's for another day. So what I did is I printed out a bunch of these parts just while I was thinking about it. Just making sure that if something new snaps off of my printer, which happens, I'll have the parts to compensate. And I guess I could print out a fan thing, but I would like to come up with my own fan thing. So here's a bunch of water cooling parts. So we've got printer project, we got the pedal project, which is some of this crap back here. We have burn the subs, which includes a lot of this hardware sitting around here, and I've got a bunch of caulk. I got my caulk out for this. And then we have the control board. So the control board is what we're working on right now, and I'm still trying to vet out. Keep in mind, we're not, you know, the goal isn't to succeed necessarily. We are essentially saying, well, what if I tried this? And it would be cool if I could do this. And then we give it a shot and we see if it works or not. So we're still vetting stuff out. One of the things I want to vet out is a larger pump controlling this whole setup. What we originally discovered is that these Raspberry Pi water cooling blocks, whatever these things are, the DX series, I don't know, it's like Alpha Cool has a specific series name for these things. These are the distribution manifolds, and these weren't available originally on Amazon. I guess, or they were back ordered on Amazon or something. Anyway, I ordered them and got them in the mail. Now, all the things you see people doing with these things, they just plug them in and they go, and everybody's like, look at all that stuff going. That's great. Well, it turns out they didn't seal these little nipples in at all. They didn't do anything to seal the nipples in. I was like, what? How? Why? Why would you do that? So it turns out I had to like loosen them a little bit and then put a little caulk around them. And that is going to actually make this seal that'll allow these things to function properly. I was originally scheming about using one of these to put around the laser, but we have a 3D printer and I have translucent filament. So I got this 3D printer to print pretty nicely lately. And this is like the old print bed surface, but there's not a ton of clarity. I think the sidewalls are a little thick for this. And I could maybe turn down the sidewalls or thin out the solid a little bit so that they would just be like one. I think it's probably like four widths thick or something like that. And provide just like a little bit more space for like water to go through. This one was printed without any support structures, so those initial layers are actually quite bad, and then the subsequent layers are supported upon them. Another one that I did tapered walls. So Prolo for 3 months. Hey, thank you so much for the 3 months, Prolo. I appreciate that, man. You done good. I appreciate you around here. So I actually tried to taper. You can see some of the weirdness over there because it tried to print a circle in midair. Basically, what I did is I tapered the walls, and that allowed it to sort of more or less support itself as it printed, which turned out a lot better for all the different rungs of the filament, right? And that's where we are with this project. That's when I put it on the shelf in order to do a bunch of other stuff. It's with the usual entrance. Don't step on the frog by the door. Yeah. Oh, that's weird. That did okay. That did okay. I mean, for the most part, it's an okay print. I'm still going to be required to actually seal this because I didn't do like O-rings or anything like that. O-rings are kind of tough to work with 3D printing and stuff like that. This is PETG, so it's good up to 80 degrees Celsius, which is not going to be reached by the actual printer itself. The way we're going to know that, though, is by testing it. That's going to be the ultimate arbiter in all this. I can actually use a metal clamp to clamp down on the plastic, and we can just run the laser in whatever mode we had it set up for the other board, and we can see whether or not the water is going to do its job. That's the goal here. So that's what we're going to try to do. I'm going to have to get my caulk out, and I'm going to have to rub it all over this thing, and then we'll see what we can get away with. So these two I'm going to need, and then the rest of this stuff is for later, I guess. I should probably put the plugs in the ends of the reservoirs as well as the tube hookups, but I don't know quite what they're going to be yet. That joke will never get old. Okay, it's already old. It was old last time we did this. But yeah, we're gonna get water all over the desk today. It's just how it is. It's just how it is. All right, so those get plugged. Let's get this thing with sealant on it first. We're gonna get sealant on that first because it needs to set. It needs to set by the time we start actually screwing with water. So we might need to take like a break in order to let it set more. I could have done it. Could have done it like last night, but I wanted to actually show. I didn't want to just like have the, you know, I've already baked one and it's in the oven. I really wish these were ball ended. I'm kind of annoyed that these aren't. I want to get to the part where we get to look at lasers, you know? All right, so this thing is mostly just decoration. I guess I'm gonna have to desolder this, huh? Actually, I could pop the connectors out. We'll do that. Yeah, because we gotta get that diode out of there. It's probably up. I can't communicate to you how little I care about Spotify being up right now. It's like, it's just impossible. But everybody else cares, so. Discord's still doing a fucky wucky. Oh, we need thermals too today. If we get to the water part today, which I think we will. Let me just see if they'll. Yeah, they won't come back up unless I properties, deactivate, activate. There they are. Now, people in here care because they don't want to just listen to me. They want to do other stuff with their lives. Like read a book, touch grass, you know, the usual. All right, is there any gross stuff that's kind of like forming in here? It looks okay. It just looks a little weird. Let's get the glass away. Get the glass away so I don't shatter that in the middle of stream. Why didn't that work? Yeah, there's no guarantees on farts. I hate to tell you guys. That one should have gone off. I didn't power anything down. Kind of want to do absolutely nothing. I don't know. It gets to you after a bit. It gets to me. What's going on? Did you guys break it? Huh. Maybe it'll fix itself. I don't know. It actually isn't hosted anywhere. It is its own device and it logs into the Twitch API. Yeah, because Twitch has been mostly, my Twitch has been mostly immune. We're still getting, like, subs and stuff, but all of these rando farts are... Oh, wait, why is that back? I thought I filtered that out. Why are those back on my feed? Damn it, come on. Okay, Twitch, why do you do this to me? It'll periodically just forget the filter. Like, these are important right here. Right? Because otherwise my feed is just fucked up with all this stuff. Jeez, like I need information, and then it just resets itself. Some channels and tweets are fine, others are not. So it's like a regional or a partial kind of thing. Man, I'm really disturbed at how thick my fucking neck is. I gotta lose weight, chat. I've put on a lot of weight. It sucks. All right, so this thing still works. I just need to cut the tip a little bit. So we can use the syringe full of caulk in order to seal around some of this stuff. This is going to be the new driver. We've got a new driver for this thing, and the only reason that we have a new driver is because it was sent in. Twisted Sister went through the trouble. He said, oh, you're upgrading your 3D printer? I have this board sitting around. Hold on, I got to move you guys a little bit, and I got to turn this up. This thing also forgets everything forgets my settings, and it's starting to piss me off. Yeah, totally agree with you, Jacose. Sitting around has not been good for us. Over the past 2 years. So, I don't know. I may have to go above and beyond the Call of Duty, though, because the weight's not going away, and I'm not... Anyway, not to get into all that. All right, so this thing right here is the BTT SKR Mini E3 version 2. Twisted Sister heard I was upgrading my printer, and he sent me this thing. We got most of the way towards getting this working, only I had a moment of existential dread 4 drivers, X, Y, Z, PDQ. That's the extruder. Dual Z motors. Why would I want to do that? Well, for forever and a day, I've had trouble with my printer. I've had the trouble with my printer where the axis has been crooked. And so I've gone through the trouble of manually moving one of the Acme threaded rods, a couple clicks of the stepper motor over, in order to get that very slight adjustment in order to even it out. But the problem is, it never really kind of solved itself. And I figured, why don't I get something that can automate the process of doing that tilt compensation, right? I can just automate that. It would be great. Just run it, automate it, boom, done, no more. So I got the other board. I got the other board for like 45, 50. Fart recordings are so good quality, you must have spent time recording them. I assure you I did not. They are from a dollar store fart noise maker. We put a Harman Kardon speaker on it, and that's all it needed in order to sound extraordinarily quality. In fact, some of the fart noises, if you watch Blazing Saddles, is it Blazing Saddles? One of the ones where they're all farting around the campfire, like literally farting around the campfire. You will hear all the same noises. They are all just your typical soundboard fart noises. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. This board did not have the additional drivers, so I couldn't do dual Z drivers on it. So I bought, for cheaper than this board, I bought a replacement, you know, all the whistles and bells, the modern board, etc., that could take one more driver. Of course, I had to buy the drivers separately, which drove the cost above this. I spent a lot of money on the 3D printer, and I'm not totally happy about it, but it is paying dividends. Everything prints like perfectly now. 3D printers suck. They're expensive. Basically save up a big pile of money, and then you can get into 3D printing, but expect down the line to not be satisfied with various facets of your printer and have to either solve it by 3D printing or literally just throwing your fucking wallet at it. There's a problem with the BL Touch where it doesn't deploy, and it'll only deploy if I put 75 cents into a slot. That's just how it is. That's just 3D printing. I have to put 75 cents into a little slot, and there's like this hairy guy that comes in here, and he just comes in and he takes the money and he puts in an empty tray and he leaves. I've never said a word to him. I don't know what the deal is with that. I don't even know if that's a 3D printer thing or if that's like a CR10 thing. I don't know what that is, but he just comes in. Like, he has keys, but I changed the locks and he's still... Anyway, so the point is, 3D printers suck and you go through a lot of money going through them. But in order to recoup a little bit of the cost into, and especially the cost from Twisted Sister buying this expensive board, I want to use this and burn the subs. Our previous control board is a little bit old. I mean, it's got trinamic drivers on it and everything. It's a bit of it's right here. It's a little bit old. It's a little bit old. This board right here is actually, I don't have any information on it. I actually don't have any information on it because I bought it, what is it, in 2012, 2011, because I wanted a stepper motor controller that would allow me to do EDM style machining. I wanted to step into that and try something cool, because you only needed one axis to press down a graphite form against the metal and have it have certain electrical properties to an Arduino. So I was like, cool, I could use this board. It was real cheap. Bought this, and then it sat on a shelf. In fact, when the stream stops, the next stream page has this board sitting on the old version of what the layout used to look like around here. So this board is old, and we've modified it about 65 billion times. NEDM, what does that stand for again? Not even doing my homework. I don't know. Anyway, so new board, who dis? Not even Doom music. Doesn't it have a different new board? Much more powerful processor. I don't know if that's going to come into play. And then Clipper. And I think what I want to do, because Clipper can run an XY table. This Arduino ran Gerbil, GRBL. Gerbil was nice, but it is also end of life. They're not working on it anymore. And in order to do a substantial amount of upgrades to burn the subs to justify our 3.0, I believe that Clipper might be a good solution for the whole thing. So this board plus Clipper, we'll still use this screen because this will do overall status displays. The most important status display being whether or not we're connected to Twitch. That's the most important one. This is a very nice VFD screen that I have. And it's going to look very nice. It's going to look very chunky and beautiful and sort of VCR tech. But yeah, that screen is going to be running statuses from the Pi. The Pi is going to be running our own custom code, and then it's going to be running Clipper. The Clipper API will be accessible through a web interface, and it'll be controlling this board, and it'll, I guess, be constantly connected to this board. We'll have to figure out how to make it start up and automatically connect, because I really don't want to have to fool around with all that. And then this thing, through either a fan driver or one of the bed drivers, will be supplying voltage all the way out to the laser itself. That's the plan. I think that's a much better control scheme. Well, I'll just have to reinvent where the holes are on this board, and then this will pretty much fit in exactly the same spot as the Gerbil board, and it'll look more advanced. Capiche? Do you guys understand what I'm talking to you about right now? How do those egg rolls treat me? Dear God, how the fuck? Listen, I don't understand how fucking Whole Foods is able to shovel that amount of carbohydrate into some egg rolls. Like, they were the breadiest things I've ever had in my entire life. What the fuck? I do better with McDonald's than this. Good Lord. Whole Foods is a scam. It's a scam. It's why Jeff Bezos is bald. All right, let's do this. So let's get the laser out of here. We're going to get the laser out of this setup. We're going to put it into a different carrier. I think that's in the bin over there. I'm going to get the other laser diode holder that has all the good stuff in it. We'll put it into that, and then we got to caulk it in place with these things, and then we'll set that aside to set for a little while, and we'll figure out how we're routing all the tubes for our test setup. So I'm gonna pump water to everything, and then we'll give the laser electricity. We'll put it on a metal target so it doesn't cause a fire, and then we'll just leave it for a little while and just see how the heat dissipates. That's the idea. That's kind of weird shit we get to around here. That's kind of weird stuff we do. Was there one in here? I think there was. Nope. Nope, that's a negative. All right, where did my laser diode go? I need to get the laser driver with the good stuff in it. So I think that might be in this bin. Might have haphazardly either... Oh, you know what? No, I think it's in the flat bin. The compartmentalized bin that is not subject to dust. Dust! My only enemy. Let's see here. Actually, not the right one. This one is just full of trash. This one is just straight up full of trash. I don't think there's anything redeemable in this bin. I think this bin is like wall-to-wall garbage. I haven't used any of this stuff for anything in like decades. I think I can free up an entire bin. Weird. Hey, here we go. Here's lasers. Well, lasers and miscellaneous, but... Alright, laser bin. The miscellaneous part of this bin has taken on some forms, including USB-C sockets. Oh, so I can put these away. I actually put away my USB-C sockets. Wonder bar. Yeah, I bought these right-angle ones for the camera project, but I don't know. Kurokesu is rather close to some very interesting shipping lines. I really hope I'm not going to get massive delays because of friggin' war, you know? Because war were declared. All right, which one is the good one here? Oh, it's the one with Teflon around it. So yeah, I want this lens. And then I've got a bunch of these little... I wish I could have found a black anodized one, because that would have looked cooler. But, you know, can't always just go straight to the rule of cool. But yeah, we need this setup, and we need that diode to fit in there. Otherwise, we'll have to find a different diode. Doop. And doop. And doop. Yeah, where is... Hold on, where is Kurokesu located? Endurance laser. No, I've never really done brand names with my lasers. I always do like eBay specials, and then you know, yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just eBay stuff and things that I find. Lithuania. Am I as who? Uh-oh. No, Discord is down right now. Discord's having a lot of troubles. You can join my Discord. The link is valid. It'll come back when Discord corporate comes back. Yeah, oh, that sucks. I hate for that to happen. We had a thing that went wrong with the bot the other day, and people were like joining and they couldn't see anything in the Discord because you need to get like a general role for the bot. That's the way that I control that's the way that I controlled Among Us. Oh boy. Well, until a single like paper airplane coming from Russia hits Poland, there should be there should be a good path to get out of there for my stuff. Unless it's got to go through, well, Belarus isn't, yeah, it's all around here. A little bit over here, right? So I don't know. That's eerily close to horrible international things going on. I really hope I get that Kurokesu enclosure, because I love that guy's stuff. He mills out of aluminum cases for webcams, and so the case for this webcam has screw terminals on the back of it, so that as I'm noodling around with this camera, I can't break that connection. I'll be able to bump up against it with complete impunity. I was thinking about printing something that would help kind of like bolster it, but it also turns out that Logitech, and I guess I don't know if this was like during the crunch or if it was like just before the big crunch, the big pandemic crunch for webcams. They didn't do a good job soldering all of the anchor pins that go around the USB-C socket. So what was able to happen is over time, the bad small amount of solder that didn't really get a good connection to the ground pads on the camera circuit board, they broke off, and so that shroud was able to move back and forth. And as that shroud moved back and forth, it put stress on the actual inside tongue of the connector. You can't, like, all the terms are going to sound sexual today. That's just how it works. That's how talking about like USB plugs work. But the tongue in the middle was able to move around too much with the connector, and so that put stress on the surface mount pads of the tongue, and then that broke them off. And so we had to try to repair that, and we did, but I bought a replacement webcam, because you should always have backups. Always have backups. But then in my anger, I killed her. In my anger, I ordered the Kurokesu enclosure. So we'll move the old webcam into that, and I'll completely replace that socket. So that's what I'm looking at a map right now to see whether or not my parts are going to ship. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. I think they should be able to get out of there pretty well, but you got an ad? Oh wait, no, he can't hear me. He's watching an ad. A streamer that I really like was running mid ads during their stream, and oh boy, it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch. I don't even, we could run mid ads at times in order to shut down the pre-rolls, but I'm gonna stick with pre-rolls because I don't know. It's less disruptive and in your face, Outcome uncertain. Yeah, so I'm wondering about those Kurokesu parts coming out of here. I think they should be okay for now. I don't think I'm allowed to to support anything like that. They're fine, says OctoJ, subbing with Prime for 55 months. On a 55-month streak? How long did it take me to partner? Was it like 2 years? How long have I been doing this thing? Since like 2015, 2016, right? Nope, clear. 55 divided by 12 is equal to 0.83. Duh. God damn it. 5.5 over 12. 4 years, 4.5 years, a little bit more than that. And then, so yeah, like 6 years of streaming, huh? Jesus Christ. I've been doing this a little while. You have ad block and a pie hole, and yet you're still getting it. Jeez. All right, let's, man, I should have used all that distracting stuff in order to wait for the caulk to solidify. Set is the word. I do have 1.4, they're actually a little bit more. I think these are, I have to check my eBay history, but I have better diodes in case this one doesn't fit in here. But I think the diode carrier we were using previously was the same thing as these. I think it's the same size. These are very low wattage. They're line generating lasers, but the hardware is all the same. So I ordered the line generating lasers as a means by which to acquire all of the wonderful lenses and stuff that I like to use. So yeah, let's get the diode out of here and let's transfer this one over. Unfortunately, this one is a slightly different style, so it doesn't quite work with this this hardware. Let's get a little closer. What are you hunting? You hunting like domains to block or something? All right, so getting this thing free, I'm gonna have to press down. I'm gonna have to take this off. That'll be the best way to do it. Now we got to remember which one is the black cable and which one's the red cable. If I use the Sharpie on this type of plastic isn't really gonna take it. It'll just rub off almost immediately. But if I can get some kind of a mark on this, that'll remain a little bit more than 2 minutes, then we'll at least be able to get everything straight again. All right. Oh, bot hunting. Right. I was born at a very early age. I've never had good memory as a result. It's a great way to perforate my other pinky. It's like my war on my own pinky fingers. Let's, no, there's not much I can do about it. I can use a pen tool. That's a little kinder. You get a diode for thin metals, so I don't need to order custom photo etch parts. See, the thing about diodes and metals and stuff is you've always got to worry about that backscatter, right? I mean, I guess typically you'd have something in a shroud. And Burn the Subs doesn't have one of those. So you got to be real careful about where all that laser energy is going. Hey, Demi, 33 months. Here we go again. Hey, thank you so much, man. You guys don't know, Demethal's the guy that's making that bust of Rabaz. His character in Elden Ring. Pretty awesome. Thank you for subbing for 33 months, dude. Appreciate that. Yeah, so I'm going to try to get these wires out of here. Try to get the diode out of here. All things that we can do. Hopefully I don't have to... I'm doing this to avoid crimping. Crimping sucks. It sucks. It's terrible. It's really hard to do. Had to spend too many hours on stream doing it. We're going to try to get a test going of this laser. Basically, I just want to see what kind of heat it creates. Ah, this thing is really being a bastard. You'd think by now I would have made a tool to help me do all this stuff. You son of a bitch! God damn it. So I need to find time to work on a game that I want to play on stream. I need to basically iron out all of the mods that I'm going to be putting into the game. Nice old game. And it's not Deus Ex, surprisingly enough. It's funny, it isn't until like a big reviewer does a big diatribe on a game that I don't realize all the flaws that it had. I did not think about all the stuff that H-Bomber guy laid out for in Deus Ex Human Revolution. I didn't realize all that stuff that was going on in the background that I didn't... You know, I had a lot of the same feelings that he had, like the fact that it wasn't sort of simulator-y. It was more like there are two fixed paths that you can take, and they're both a little bit contrived. Like, that didn't occur to me until watching that stream. All right, let's get this out of here. No, not Stalker. I've been thinking about Stalker, though. I don't know if I'd enjoy that. Next time I'll have a tier 3, but I can't this time. Dude, you do whatever tier you need to, man. Hey, listen. I have the same amount of appreciation for whatever tier subs come in. Now, it would be really weird if I had a tool that was specifically designed for these rings. So we're gonna make do without... Oh, wait, there's this specific tool that's designed for these rings. Oh, okay. I got a little sick of having to take the shortcut with a screwdriver. And I like, you know, hey, you don't, these rings aren't going to necessarily like completely stop your operation in its tracks. They can, because you can accidentally slip and scratch a lens, an expensive lens. Don't ask. Yeah, these rings with the little screw things in them, it's not an expensive tool. So you just buy the tool to do them. Otherwise, you'd be taking a flathead screwdriver and giving it a little tap on one side and a tap on the other, and back and forth you go until the whole thing spins. But we got the tool for it, so I'm going to use the tool. So let's get this thing all calibrated for what we need to unscrew. And just do that. Hopefully without too much damage. It might be a little small for this thing. Yeah, this can like barely fit. Tighten that up. Tighten that up. That's all it is. It's just a little thing that lets me get all the way down to those screw threads. Not the threads, but whatever. The Phillips head things. I want the emotes so I can spread them everywhere. That's an honorable thing. I think this spring wasn't really supposed to be in there. Oh no, the spring is for, yeah, I see it now. I think the spring fell through. What's going on here? I thought this thing was ready to go. All right, well, back into the bin it goes. Now the question is, do I have anything that will take this sized diode carrier, whatever it's called? Yeah, Discord is down, so my viewership is up. Welcome to Bother's Discord. Is it API related? We were speculating, and our best conspiracy theory is that Santa Claus caused Putin to do a DDoS attack on these various services, but it was only through Satan were they able to get it accomplished. Yeah. Neil Breen was there too. On-Call Engineering continues to investigate the root cause. We've engineered our partners. We've engineered our partners. Like what? Sex dolls? We've engaged our partners and are preparing for contingencies to return blah, 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 blah. Satan or Santa? Oh, they're the same person. Sorry. Hail Santa. All right. That goes away for another day. That math checks out. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right. Listen, considering the kind of bullshit that I had to put up with this weekend in terms of fucking conspiracy theories, like, that's mild. When did my friends get stupid, chat? Is that cock, or are you just happy to see me? No, that's my big tube of cock. Yep. It's actually not. It's kind of small. Leave disco alone. Okay, next. Yes, we get everything in this, but it needs to be sealed. And I put all the parts away. No, that's all the parts. And then that's all the parts. Okay, so this is a, yeah, that's not gonna work. This is a smaller driver. What did I use on the previous burn? Hold on, we gotta find the old one. I've got one larger. Got one that's larger. I know there's one that can take this driver because we used it. What happened to it? Not in there, not in there. Did I like throw it out? Did I toss it? Did I bin it? Because these are that smaller size, but they're more powerful. I guess I could justify my purchase of a new diode. A new diode. I suppose if there's no alternative, I can do that. Yeah, whichever one this one came with. I don't see. I gotta get in front of the camera. Sorry. I gotta get in front of the camera because I'm looking around for stuff. Would it be this one though? This is the only one that doesn't have. Oh no, this one has power cables coming from it. Maybe it's in a different bin. Hold on. Still looking. Yeah, that's the tiny one. I wonder what happened to the big one. The one that took the big diode. Oh, it's probably in a different it's probably used as like a sizing guide somewhere. Because I know the other one that we had on the bench here had the smaller diode type in it. This one has different wires coming out of it. Maybe this one's here. Nope, also saw a tiny small one. All of them are small ones. I don't know where all my good stuff went. Huh. Strange. All right, so we're gonna need a spring goo. That'll help us. We got these over there. 2 watt. These are 2 watt lasers. Jeez. We'll underdrive them a little bit. We'll probably still create just as much heat, but 3 watts. Well, maybe we could speed up, burn the subs. We could have it burn the names a little faster. We could have a remote in my pocket where I activate the thing, so I have to position the camera and then click the remote, and then it all comes to life. Because yeah, this one's out. What's that? Oh yeah, those are ferrites, ferrite cores or whatever. I get bead, maybe the term, but those are specifically for. I think somebody's smoking a cigar outside. That's a weird smell I didn't expect to smell suddenly. A freaking cigar? Are you kidding me? Ugh. All right. Jeez. All right. So we got to pop the laser out of this thing, and these are press fit. I don't care about this laser specifically because this one is like it's like 100 milliwatts or something like that, right? You can only have so many watts in a consumer laser, but in order to get our laser in, we need to pop this one out. So I could pull as hard as I can on the leads. I could just do that, right? And pull on it super duper hard. It's not going to do anything. It is press fit. So what I need to do is I need to press on the front of the diode in order to pop it backwards, and then we'll just use the vise like we did last time and just hit the edges of it just a little bit, and that should be enough to pop the thing out again. But I don't really care about the lasers, so I don't really need to be too careful with it right now. So what I'll do, set up the vise just to hold on to the back edge there. Actually, that maybe I should open it up and do this. I should do the next shoulder, this right here. Not squish the threads too hard. Just keep it nice and loose. And then I need a post. This isn't a very good post. I don't think this will do it. There it is. Ta-da! Now, all things considered, I didn't really do that much damage to the laser itself. So it's actually still good. Yeah, it's actually still good. All right. So that goes in the bin. That goes in the laser bin. Probably should label it, but I didn't. And now we've got this diode carrier ready to go. And because of the press fit, that's where all the heat transfer is going to occur. It's through that press fit. I'm not too concerned with like adding any material into this thing in order to get better heat transfer. I mean, basically, what we need to do is we'll press the laser into this. I'll put a little Teflon on the threads because we're putting this back can on the whole thing, and the heat of the laser is going to be translated through all of this metal. So really, this is almost entirely poking out of the front. This is actually the wrong, hold on. There's one that's a little bit more nickel coated than this, nickel plated. Maybe they all look like this. No, the ones are, so the one with less nickel plating, if I can find the one with less nickel plating, I could put the original diode into it. That's not available. That labeling stream. So yeah, what I'm trying to do is get this object. Ah! Hold on, didn't drop it yet. Haha, caught it. Trying to get this object in here where we can pump water around it. Oh dear. Did it shrink a little bit? Probably. I'll probably need to do a little tapered ream on that so that I can get this thing to sit in there. Hey, that's the. They'll be mad at the game. Yeah, I probably should have widened these a little bit. And the wonderful part about this system is I don't have to be totally accurately straight up and down, because wherever the laser lies is our 0 point. Just a little bit more. And all the inaccurate printing on the layers isn't going to do much for this. Still not working. There's a little piece of material in there. I was gonna try to get it test fit first. This is kind of blurry, isn't it? Let's move back a little bit here, and then I'll focus the camera. Yeah, this stuff is pretty good at getting flexed around. Pretty good at getting flexed around. This will be cool though. We'll have a water-cooled laser going on. Pretty excited about that. If this is a success, unless the laser suddenly gets it up to 80 degrees Celsius and starts melting my plastic, and then water gets everywhere, and then mains voltage gets involved, and everything explodes, and I never stream again. So I haven't pressed the diode in yet. I'm just doing kind of like a size thing here. Am I going to be able to clamp that whole thing? Yeah, I need to work the edge a little bit more. I don't want to overdo it. The tapered ream will overdo it very quickly. Because like the front's already fitting in. Man, that might almost seal on its own. Yeah. You're not wrong. But I don't want to rely on live stream fails. Somebody was talking about like how Twitch was like the hardest place to build a community that you could possibly choose. Like just go to YouTube. I didn't do that. I built a Twitch audience without a bunch of extra stuff. Okay, so it's only the one that I need to widen. It's just this top one. And the only reason I need to widen it is because of the length of the tapered ream not getting to that. I'm not allowed to talk about other streamers. Jeff Bezos is going to visit my house. He's going to rub his bald head, and then I'll disappear. Off to the camps with me. To clean pee bottles out of the facilities. That's what they do to you. Saw it happen. What's even weirder is I'm not allowed to talk about streamers that were banned. Like I can't even mention their names. Can't even mention their names. Without risk of reprisal. This is technically against the toss. Yeah, that got a good number of views, didn't it? Okay. Why is it still... What is happening here? Why are you still messing with me? What did I do? What did I ever do to you? Hole. I keep opening it up and it keeps rejecting. 100 people per day per average, or on average? That's a scary statistic. It's only a matter of time. I know. Join the nameless hordes of streamers. But like the problem is, like the streamers I know that have been, there we go. I know that have been banned are small streamers. They are not big streamers. Here's the choice we could make. We got a little choice here. I can actually make this just hug the back portion. Oh, God, I'm gonna hurt myself doing this. Hold on. Ah, damn it. I can make it just hold on to the back portion of this and then have all the laser stuff sitting out here as is displayed right now. Let's get closer and let me focus the camera. All right, so I got a choice here. So I can either have I get the light a little closer. There we go. Now you guys can see what's going on the screen. So, I can seal around this end and this end, and then the entire portion of the electronics is just open, right? And then I don't necessarily have to do any. I could put. Why is the brightness of the camera so weird? Hold on. I'm gonna do the calibration again. My calibrations have kind of gone to the wayside. I need to work on those because they're not quite working the way that they should. I don't know if they're doing, like, I haven't had any frame rate troubles in a little while. OBS has been updating their software, so maybe that's part of it. But I don't know. Like, I just feel like things aren't quite operating the way that they should lately. I've been able to get my usual beautiful visuals. So this is out of focus because of the brightness weirdness. You guys over here. There you go. All right. So this right here is a complete system, right? I can ream these holes out a little bit more. Balbin, thank you for subbing with a Prime for 12 months. Hell yeah, dude. Thank you so much. Thank you, Balbin. So we can use this and mount it directly like this. And that means that the flimsy little can that sits behind the laser is what we're actually cooling, which is sealed. So if I do a bead around that and a bead around that, and then the two nipple fittings that I put a bead of silicone around as well, that means that we can pump water into this and it will cool whatever heat transfers from this threaded piece of metal to this threaded piece of metal. And I could put thermal epoxy on that and then screw that in. So that's one way that I could do it. The alternative way, and the way that I would like to try today, just so we do it this way, is the more risky way. The more risky way is to put a piece of Teflon on those threads and back this up so that this part is exposed to the water. I may want to make this larger as well. I may want to make this larger so there's more volume around this. It's not really that necessary. I don't know. We don't have to min-max everything, but I do kind of feel like this piece of metal should be exposed to the liquid so that it cools better, right? Is that going to be like an infinitesimal difference? Because the difference between this here and this backed in means that, I don't know, we're risking water getting into the laser. Is what we're essentially risking. So yeah, all right, hard mode this time. All right, I gotta punch this thing out of here without damaging it. All right, let's get this laser out of the way. I'm actually gonna want to take these off of the laser and I'll transfer them over. So let's get our diodes seated. Make sure my hands are clean. Get my diodes. Get my diode seat. I think I can just do this with a clamp. Yeah, but I mean, the cooling and like, what about the longevity of like, I mean, this is nickel, so that should be fine. It's like nickel plated, it seems to be like steel. I don't know, it's cheapo metal, right? But it's nickel plated. The nickel plating should be okay, even though elsewhere, like 500 miles away, I'm gonna have copper. Whatever. The water cooling people can have their little fit about how that's going to create a half cell, even though the tubes are like 5 miles away. It has to go through all that to get to the other end. So I don't know. I can't help it. Nickel will be safe as long as you aren't using salt water. I thought the mixing metals thing, creating a half cell reaction, I thought that was a big deal. But then again, like, people on the internet love to min-max. There's like an emotional component to winning arguments where it's actually like physically painful for somebody to lose an argument on the internet, and so they'll split hairs until they have split an atom in order to justify their stances on things. And so therein lies all of the people who will say that because there are copper blocks in the system and I am using a nickel block on the laser itself, that I am violating the Geneva Convention and I should be thrown in prison. I just wanted to kowtow a little bit to that, just to make sure that I'm not going to get thrown in prison. Old diodes, keep them safe. Keep them safe. When we get the wires off of the other one, we'll put that away. Then I can put the rest of this thing away. Yeah, aluminum and copper. Aluminum. Okay, so this is the right size. I'm not going to touch this with my hands, because I don't want to accidentally, you guys can't see anything. Boop, boop, boop. And then let's go to this one. Here's where I'll show you. This is the laser diode. Look at him. He's adorable. Now, there are technically 3 pins coming out of the thing, but one of them is just basically the same as one of the others. Sometimes these diodes will have, looks like these are used. Good work, eBay. I hope we have plenty of life in this one. Man, if we have a laser diode die, that's going to be very annoying. At least I can pull all the parts over here to service them. I don't know what people are doing swapping lasers in and out of systems, though. I don't see how it would reasonably have been used. But yeah, so we got a plus and a minus tab and then a case tab. Sometimes that third connection is used as like, there's like a sensor in there to tell whether or not it's actually lasing, or you know, some other thing, some other feature of the diode. But in this case, I mean, we just got blue light coming out of the front of this thing. So we'll just have to basically observe the nooks on the edge of the can in order to tell us which pin is which. Usually, if you don't have that plastic piece on the back of the diode, you can just see which one is connected to the entire can of the thing, and that'll be the minus connector. So yeah, laser diode, pretty cool stuff. I mean, basically what they did is they took an old style transistor and they put a glass window on the front. I've always had an affinity towards lasers and laser diodes. It's always been a lot of fun to play with. You get every kind of engineering in lasers. Every kind. Because when you get up to the big glass tubes, you have to start water cooling stuff. You get high voltage and water cooling and all that nonsense. Now we can do it like that, or I can try to put like a tube around this thing. I don't think I have anything quite tube-sized enough for this. It would be nice, though, because then we could press evenly on the very large substrate of the back. If I get the plastic off, what do we have left? The solder's preventing me from doing that. I've done it in the past where I've put it in the vise and just tilted it back and forth. I mean, I was thinking of whether or not I could use this little piece of tube in order to go over the back. Nope, not a drop. Still holding it. God, it's so close to dropping. Fuck! Alright, that was a drop. I over squeezed on the tweezers. TO1 germanium transistors and a radio from the 70s. Oh, that sounds awesome. Alright. Let's see. I'm thinking about what I can use to press this diode in that's like in my immediate vicinity. I don't think any of this stuff will help. Sockets are too big and long, to be honest. Yeah, that goes around the whole thing. I guess we're just gonna have to pinch it in the vise. Pinch it in the vise. So I'll just do one side and then the other. We'll see if we can get this thing to seat properly without damaging it. There are official ways for all this stuff to be done, but we're not gonna bother. And I have extras. I almost dropped that. Why am I dropping everything today? I'm gonna move up. I'm moving up. I'm moving way up on the desk. Oh, weird. What, like, Discord really just got destroyed, didn't it? What happened? I guess we'll find out in the next couple hours, but wow. That's, they got took out, man. They hacksaw-ing my account? Nobody has any way to communicate. Oh my god. I mean, a lot of people went over to Discord, you know? A lot of stuff goes on there. Yep, that's it. We just take a vise and we just squish it until it's seated. Looks pretty good. There's our laser. You're gonna be burning the subs for a long time. Until I can make robot arms. There he is. So basically what I did is I rode the side of the vise. I don't think I did much damage to it. There's a couple little spots. I could have been a little bit easier on them. But basically I rode the side and I just kept clamping until this thing was seated. It's not scientifically super duper precision ready, but yeah, I was basically just getting the edge like that and then twisting it. So there it is. And this is all we did on the previous burn the subs. I've never had trouble with doing this method. So let's move the wires over to here, and I don't know which one's positive or negative. So we got to do a little Googling in order to figure that out. So I'm going to put the diode in the vise for the soldering. That way it's at least held in place and I don't have to futz around with it too bad, right? Oh wait, no, I should do the other one first. So the other one, our previous diode, this beautiful little thing right here, it's one of the 3 sizes of diodes that are available throughout the internet or whatever. Just basically the ones that they make. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the large, not the can. Not going to clamp that can. That can is thin metal. It's not very strong. And in the past, we did a thing where I clamped onto the edges of the can in the milling machine collet. I clamped onto the edges of the can. We spun it in the milling machine, and then I had a pair of vice grips holding what is ostensibly a scalpel blade. It was just one of those flat, 1980s cocaine laser or cocaine razor blades, and I moved it in with the X and Y axis in order to slice the can off of the diode. And that's where you get the intro from the Burn the Subs video with that giant hair in the way that I should have cleaned off. We basically took the camera and we turned it into a microscope, and then I got an image of the laser lasing. Pretty cool stuff. What I'll do is, just for the ease of soldering, I'm going to clamp onto that big outside ring, and this vise has just a little cut in it to help me out, help me hold stuff. God, man, microscope really emphasizes the fact that everything you own is filthy. It is a workshop after all. All right, like that. We can add some cameras to that so you guys can see what I'm doing in the background. The root cause is not fixed. Now, it's funny how little I care about that right now because I'm streaming. Everybody else cares, though, so I'm happy for the updates. Happy for the updates. It'll be working by the time I'm done streaming. And then I get to go back to normal Discord service. Unlike you plebs, who are forced to watch my channel. Where is my wire cutters? I think they're behind me. I was using the wire cutters because I like the pliers on the end of the wire cutters because they're really good at grabbing onto 3D print support. I could just tear stuff apart with them. Let me go check. Yep, there. All the stuff that I'm missing is on my other desk. All right, so here's all the stuff. They're working around the issue. Oh, do you think? Yeah. What do they do? Just like put a credit card in a little reader, and then AWS is like, yeah, we'll give you some more servers over here. One of the big losses for the internet will be the migration away from forums to Discord. So much knowledge is shared in Discord, and it isn't crawled for in Google searches. Yeah, I wonder how much that's going to happen. Probably not as much as you think, because forums are still active, sort of. Forums died before Discord came around, though. Forums died far before Discord. You can say that you were still using forums, but really the death of the forum was before Discord. Yeah, I don't know. As long as Stack Overflow stays around. Yeah. I mean, car forum people are dinosaurs, so they will stay on forums, and I will still be able to get all my tutorials. But one of the cooler migrations that I thought, or at least in my mind, one of the cooler migrations that has happened is from forums to YouTube. I very much appreciate being able to watch a video of some guy doing the job that I need to do and showing me precisely how complicated it is. Whether or not their formatting is good, they never are. Or, the one, for instance, that I watched is the guy replacing the windshield wiper motor on a BMW. And they are working on a car that is completely gutted. So it's not a great example. It's not a great example because the car is completely gutted. It's easier to get into. But all of the steps are there. So I can reference, like, oh, he has to position his body weird in order to get to that part. Things like that. I think that's incredibly useful these days. I see him do it, and I do it myself. I'm a simple man. I don't want to cut into the jacket of the wire. This is a lot more complicated than I thought it would be. Usually I can just score the outside like that and then pick the thing away. And it's fighting me for some reason. Not that I care about preserving this laser, but I mean, if the new lasers are completely unacceptably bright, then I'm gonna have to go back to this. I don't really want to ruin it. I also gotta think about like waterproofing this thing. Sassy McSassy Pants. That's a good name. Or I like to see better integration with Discord and whatnot. Yeah. But forums also, one of my problems with forums is that questions that you may have can get shot down too easily because somebody saw it 4 years ago and they're not going to put enough thought into it to realize that it is in fact a unique answer. And that happens a lot. It happens a lot on Stack Overflow, but it happens even more with like car forums where it's like, my windshield wiper is doing this weird thing. I don't know what it is. And everybody's like, it's this, it's blah, blah, blah. And then you get like 5,000 responses that aren't actually addressing the problem at all. You have to dig through and you have to pick out all the things that are actually, yeah, Linux forums. Yeah, I've had a lot of trouble running various distributions of Linux in the past due to how weird Linux people seem to feel they need to answer questions. You know, and part of it is maybe I don't know to search the right stuff. That's probably a big component of it. But like, I don't know. It's weird. Reddit came along, and then they had the voting system, and that kind of changed things around. The voting system meant that the most pertinent thing, hopefully, would find its way to the top. You know, say what you want about Reddit, and I know there's always people that jump in and, I hate it. You're a bunch of stupids. Reddit called me stupid once. Look, I used to be afraid to post there because people would be so incredibly crazy about grammar, which is good. That's actually good. Standardized communication and stuff. But like, I don't know. In terms of like consumer reviews and finding the knowledge on a topic that you need and having the most pertinent thing come up to the top of the thread, and you get it immediately. That's good. That's what's good about that. So I don't know. I don't know if forums will go away, but the knowledge has moved, and it's moved to places that are still compatible with Google searching. You can narrow your search to Reddit and get a good consumer review of a product very quickly and very thoroughly too. CosmoQuest rating with a party of 14. How you guys doing? We are undressing our lasers right now. We're gonna water cool them. Boy, oh boy. You guys rated on Monday. I don't stream on Monday. But thank you for the raid. Thank you for the constant raids. Crazy town. What we're doing is we're taking Burn the Subs. Now, Burn the Subs, you guys probably don't know about. Burn the Subs is this giant board on my wall. This medium-sized board on my giant wall. It's a big wooden board, and I want it to spool up and be able to burn the name of subscribers on itself, and it does that automatically. What it does is it uses the Twitch API, and it gets the names of subscribers, vets them out, puts them in a database, and poops them out into something that's going to move the motors around. We're going to be upgrading the thing that moves the motors around, and we're going to be upgrading the motor. Well, we're not doing the motors. We're upgrading the parts on the board, and we're going to upgrade the way it moves. It's going to move a lot smoother, and it'll be pretty cool, right? It might be faster. It might be able to burn the names faster as a result of being brighter, which is something that I've got to be a little bit worried about because I don't want to damage my eyes. I don't face the board a lot of the time, but I do need to be able to get the camera in position in time to turn around and then have the blue laser do its thing. I don't want to be exposed to all the UV. I mean, the double reflections of that light are probably not amazing. It's probably like driving through a bunch of trees and having yeah. But anyway, I think we'll be okay in that regard. But what we're building up to is testing one of these 2-watt blue lasers that I have with water flowing around it. So right now we're desoldering the old driver. We're going to get the new driver spooled up, and we need to get the water jacket around the whole thing. And then I need to see if I need to redesign the water jacket in any way for the flow rate that we're going to need in order to cool it. I don't think we're going to need incredible cooling, but a 2-watt laser is a lot of watts. What? Yeah, so sometimes moving out of forums actually opens up tribal knowledge repos. Interesting. The forums for the game I play are mostly private and don't get crawled. Tons of niche knowledge. Yeah, I've never gotten into that. That's a weird world of computery stuff, huh? Now is plus and minus the same with the notch there? It probably is. Let's take a quick aside here. Oh, yeah, there's the link to the Discord, assuming that Discord works at all. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, it looks like they're coming back online. All right, so laser diode housings. Laser diode. See, they're all like this. They're all kind of universal things. Ah, was it the one copper? It would have been nice if I found the copper one. Yeah, there's a variety of different types of laser housings, but the diode housings typically take about the same form. All we're doing is wrapping it in a bit of 3D printed plastic. Now, people are going to say it, but the glassing temperature of PETG is 80 degrees Celsius. I don't expect this thing to get anywhere near 80 degrees Celsius. But that's plenty of heat capacity. It's not plenty of heat capacity for like a computer, although computer water cooling stays around 50, doesn't it? Yeah, it's just people get a little scared of the properties of 3D printing versus water cooling. Now, one of the other things that can happen is the layers of the 3D print from layer to layer to layer cannot properly stick, but I print hot. I print hot and I print shiny. And with the hot and shiny prints, there is enough heat there that as the plastic goes down, it's gonna kind of create, well, it's not really a permanent bond, but it is bonded enough that you have to take a screwdriver into the thing and snap it apart. And that's just because there's a seam across it. It's enough that it is able to hold water, and it's able to hold water at slight pressure. Remediations are working and traffic is coming back online. While we work to restore full service, some functionality will remain intentionally disabled until the service stabilizes. Typing events and message acknowledgement, other functionality seems to be restored. Media embeds may not work correctly at this time. Okay. Yeah, so to prevent delamination, you used to be able to do an acetone vapor. Or you still can. You used to do that. This is PETG, so it's soda bottle plastic. It's printed hot. So it should be good with the water. And if it's not, it'll be fun and it'll be funny. So laser diode types. S. Why did my S key work? I've had keyboards acting a little weird lately. What? Who made this? Who made this? This is the least informative thing I've ever seen. Ugh. It says, here's a bunch of pictures of diodes. None of them are square. Everything is bent out of shape. It's like the type of diode display, and all they've done is drag and drop things into PowerPoint without even bothering to keep them in the right size. How do people make graphics like this unironically? I don't understand. I don't get it. How do you make a graphic like this unironically? Like, these are the people that when HD TVs became a thing, they didn't notice anything wrong with their picture when it was in the wrong aspect ratio. I don't understand. Like, how do their brains work? Ugh, man, they should be studied by science. These are the types right here. We got 3 different sizes. That's what I was looking for. I would like one to explain to me what the pinout is supposed to be, though. Yeah, I forgot there was a presentation tomorrow. Exactly. And spend $3K on a TV to see black bars. No, but sometimes the director decides to film in a location that you can't control. No, it's just like people would get HD TVs and it would be like squished and I can't stand it. My parents' TV's like that. Every time I fix it, they just change it back. It's the same thing with motion interpolation, where they're at like a higher frame rate, but the media isn't at that higher frame rate, and so the pacing of like from frame to frame, it ruins the pacing. And if you watch animation on that, it's even worse because they don't. It's doing the job of an in-between artist that's not supposed to be there. So if they filmed it on the 2s or the 3s, you get this interpolated motion between frames, and everything is cursed. It's so bad. Yeah, the soap opera effect, where people look like they're oddly moving too fast. Yeah. There was a like an Airbnb. Was it an Airbnb or a hotel that I went to where the TV was locked off and you couldn't change it. You couldn't change it, and it had those settings on. So I'm just sitting there like my eye twitching, like I can't do this. I can't watch this machine. All right, anyway, the point is there are a couple different sizes of diodes, right? We need to find out what the pinout is. We can do that with a multimeter, but I could just look up the standard diode output. So diode, like laser diode pinout, we'll just look it up. I just wanted you guys to be aware that there are 3 different sizes of laser diodes that exist. Laser diode pinout. We spell laser with an S because it is stimulated, not simulated emission of radiation. Stimulated, not simulated, all right? And the people that spell it wrong, I ignore because they're intentionally just trying to trigger me with that because they know that it's like a kind of a point of irritation to me. 60 FPS on a 24 FPS movie. Extra smoothing. Does that mean, so when it interpolates frames, because I know it can do it in like it's okay for like sports and stuff like that. If you want to make a slow motion shot, you can use frame interpolation to some degree, but like motion blur is a thing, and it's a useful thing, and it's a thing that even animation, you know, does blur and smear frames in order to basically emulate the way that real action video frames will look, right? Yeah, nature documentaries and sports, but like on that kind of stuff, like what is it doing? Is it because there's blur to the frames? Maybe the camera equipment that's capturing those is less prone to blurring. I don't know. All right, so anyway, we got a notch right here, and our anode and cathode, A+, C-, by the way, A+, C-. Node the hode. Yeah, A+, C-. That's how I remember that. And remember, you get one mnemonic. Sometimes people memorize multiple mnemonics, but usually the one that clicks in your brain first is the one that you're always going to remember. So when I was learning this in school, this wasn't what I was supposed to be learning in school. This is just what I was learning in school. I got like terrible grades because I was doing too much with electronics. Yeah. Anyway, when I sat down in order to learn the mnemonic or to learn what is anode and what is cathode, I was like A+, C-, and that just stuck. And that was it. So that's how I remember it to this day. Every now and then I'll get a little confused and I'll have to come up with a mnemonic again. So if you don't have a clever mnemonic, the first one you hear is still going to stick. It sucks. So if you come up with one that's stupid, like A+, C-, that's going to be the one forever. Oh well. All right. Well, no, with Zeners, Zener diodes are drawn the other way around. What do you mean Zener? God damn it. Why are you trying to do this to me? Zener diodes are fundamentally used in reverse. It's still A+, Z-, but the diode itself is flipped around and used in reverse so that you get that wonderful reverse bias on it. That's what Zeners are all about fundamentally. This guy right here, because there's that cutoff when you reverse. God, I just want the image, please. Right there. Right there. That's what the Zener diode is all about. So when you reach that voltage, anything above in reverse is going to just be the same voltage. So Zener diodes fundamentally are used in reverse, and they're drawn in reverse. So there's really nothing to it. It's the C+, C minus, A plus is basically what you're looking for there. A plus, C minus. So anyway, A plus, C minus, pin 1 is there. Pin 1 is to the left of the nub. The nub is facing down. Okay, so that's how we're going to figure out which wire goes to which pin. And then I got to remember the shrink wrap. Actually, I don't have to remember the shrink wrap. We don't have a connector on the end. Aha! It'll be easier if I remember the shrink wrap, though. Remember the trash can. What's up, Groovy? All right, so this is still a good diode. This thing did us well. This thing worked for 2.6 years, we calculated. 2.6 years of burning names onto a block of wood. So it gets a time-honored and traditional location for it to rest for the end of its days. Done. Okay, on to the 2-watt diode. The darling of the show, the 2-watt diode. So I'll orient this in the same way that the image is oriented. And then we'll get that clamped in here. Should probably put tape over the lens, but it'll be moderately dust-free in that location. So we got the nub facing away from us, like that, sort of. And then over here we have our diagram, pin 1, pin 3. So pin 1, positive, pin 3, negative. Got them. All right, so let's get those wires on before I forget. Get those wires on before I forget. I'm gonna trim them a little shorter. A little shorter. Shorter. Oh, that's setting a ricochet. Probably add some solder to this too, because these are looking... I was looking at the pins there, and it looked like the solder didn't wick up the wire as far as I wanted it to. So I'll do a little bit of this. Do we have all our cameras up? Yeah, everything's up. Good. Hello? What is... Do you need to tin this? The last thing we did with this is surface mount. It's had kind of a bit of a break. Ah, that fresh smell of solder, huh? We're back into it, boys. Ow, that's very hot. Ow. Should have added my little thing about the spelling. I'll add that to the title in just a second here. I'll add it now. I ignore people who spell laser wrong. Probably capitalize that because it is an acronym. Ta-da! Now everybody's gonna try to get on my nerves. We'll eventually calm down. Being little shitheads. What do you mean soldered screws, huh? What you talk about? Ah, my hand is cramping. My glucose level's falling. I don't know where these came from. I really hope they're functional, because these should be pretty whoppingly bright. They're probably from DLP TVs or whatever, but you gotta be careful with them because it's a lot of watts coming out of the front. I have not tuned the driver for these, and I don't have specs, so I don't know if we need to do a whole tune-up session or if I can just power this thing up and it'll work. I mean, it's technically on a heatsink right now, so I could power it up and see what happens. Probably what I'll end up doing. I mean, they're all about the same. The diode properties are all about the same on these things. I don't really have specs for the other laser. The way you adjust the driver, by the way, is you put a bunch of generic diodes down, ones that can handle the amount of current that's going to go through it. because you need to combine. Laser diodes take about 1.4 volts, I think, or something. 1.4 volt drop from the laser diode, because it needs the volts to make energy, right? I don't know about overdriving or underdriving or what we're gonna do. It's a 2-watt laser. I mean, if I overdrive it, I'm asking for like trouble. But yeah, so 1.4 volts is the drop across a diode, a light emitting or a laser diode, I think is 1.4, if I'm correct about that. Somebody will check me on that one. But what happens is that extra voltage is there because it's what's creating it. It's carrying the energy and making the photons come out and all that stuff, right? So what you do in order to test out your diode, damn, my hand is like cramping. It's muscle stuff from diabetes. This right here is the reason why I'm having hand cramps right now. That's my glucose level in a chart over time. So I ate a spring roll that was like school lunch cafeteria level spring roll. So it was all breading and like one thin strip of cabbage in the whole thing. And then it had like a dip that was like a chili sugar dip. So like sugar and breading. I have done less damage to my body with McDonald's than that. That was a bad Whole Foods. Jeff Bezos was like, you should try this one. And I was like, all right, Jeff, if that's what you insist. And he's like, yeah, I insist. And then he sort of like, his hand just kind of brushed the gun on his hip. Like he was petting a dog, but it was his gun. And so I had to get the spring roll thing. So I did, and it shot my glucose level all the way up. And then in order to get my glucose level back on track, I had to give a bunch of insulin. And so as all this biological bullshit is happening in my body, these muscles right here, whatever muscles are responsible for I think it's these guys. Yep, that's the ones with wiggling. So these guys right here are deciding to just tense up. So unfortunately, as I'm trying to position this stuff, my hand is like, no claw anymore. I'm gonna like go crazy. Anyway, that's the reason for my complaints. This is Jeff Bezos' fault. Let's get shrink wrap on this thing. So anyway, with laser diodes, you have a larger voltage drop. So in order to make sure that this thing works properly, what you do is you get your multimeter and you measure the amount of amps through a virtual diode. So what you're doing is you're taking something like a 1 ohm resistor and you put that in the path with 4 or more regular old non-light emitting diodes that work in the voltage range that you're looking for. So in the voltage range you're looking for, whatever, and that varies, you have a certain amount of voltage drop, and then you have a resistor in there what you can measure amps from. And so when you measure those amps, you tune the driver board, all the little potentiometers on the driver board. I don't know where the driver, there it is. You tune the little potentiometers. It's actually not this one. It's the horrible surface mount potentiometer. These things suck. They're so bad. If you just look at them funny, the value changes. They're very, very bad potentiometers, and they should feel bad. But anyway, you adjust this guy right here, and then that determines how many volts go through the laser. Well, actually, it's a current controlled driver. It's how much current goes through the laser. If you overcurrent your laser diode, you will blow it up, because the laser diode is a diode. And the way a diode works is you get 2 pieces of silicon and you make them kiss. You make them... No, what you do is you take 2 pieces of silicon. One of them is doped to have more holes, and the other one's doped to have more electrons. When you put those together, it makes a boundary layer between the 2 pieces of silicon. And that boundary layer is dependent on the electromagnetic properties that are floating around it. So if you have a line going into each end of the 2 pieces of silicon in the middle, you can move and expand that boundary layer in various ways by applying power to it. So if you apply power to one end, it's going to block any current flow through those 2 pieces of silicon until you have enough current or enough voltage on the one line that the boundary layer migrates enough to allow flow through. And you'll notice that I didn't say anything about there being an amperage requirement on it or a resistance to it. There is going to be a natural resistance to the silicon itself, but it is very small and infinitesimal, because what happens is, much like in, I'm not going to use the check valve analogy. When that boundary layer gets over to the other side, it's going to act like a piece of wire. When it acts like a piece of wire, it also has a little bit more resistance than just a piece of wire. So what'll happen is just a buttload of current will go through the thing and it'll fizzle out. It'll pop. Popped a lot of diodes in my day. Various LEDs, regular diodes, whatever. They just go. They pop if you mistreat them. So you need to have control over that current. That's why you put a resistor on an LED, because you need to limit the amount of current that goes to the LED. Laser diodes are more sensitive than that. So what they get is a very specific current controlled diode where the voltage will fluctuate. It doesn't matter. But it will very carefully control the amount of current out of your laser diode, because the threshold between doesn't work and blew up is very narrow. So you put a driver on it, you're all Gucci. Now in some cases, you can run the laser diode just from battery voltages, which is kind of the old way of doing it. There's usually a driver in there, but sometimes, actually, no, you can't run it just from batteries. It's not, no, what am I talking about? They do get very simple though, these laser drivers, but there's usually some kind of a current limiting circuit involved in there. What am I talking about? I was trying to remember if I've ever seen a non-current controlled laser diode, but even these cheapo, like $1 for 3 laser devices, they still have some kind of a board on it to keep that current from getting out of control. Just a fundamental part of the electronics, part of the physics of the whole thing. So anyway, shrink wrap. Shrink wrap. I just want to make sure that my contacts don't come in contact with the contacts. Larger. Use clear again. Yeah, I got a little slice of clear over here that I can use. How much am I going to need? Very little. So I can actually just use this one little scrap piece. This is why we hold on to everything around here. One little tiny scrap piece. Right. Just feed those in there. Watch it not fit with the little connector on. Okay, good, it does. That would have been very annoying. The physics of diodes are interesting. I need to jump back into that. Same thing with what's up, Fuzzy Drummers? Yeah, man, I've always loved laser diodes. I've always had or lasers in general. I've always had kind of an affinity towards them because they were always this cool magical tech, right? It's cool magical tech, a coherent beam of light. I wasn't really too invested in the fact that it was a coherent beam of light. That's what all the physicists love. No, I like that it was a little dot that would go off into infinity as a little dot. Now, of course, I learned later in life that's not how it works. That is not what lasers are. It is coherent light, and it just happens that you can columnate it into a beam, but that's not the primary thing about it. The primary thing about lasers is that it is actually all of the photons are wobbling the same way, because if they don't wobble the same way, they get canceled out. This is a double slit experiment you can do with light or you can do with lasers. With lasers, it's more apparent that you get an interference pattern because interference is being caused by waves of light having to take different paths. If they're out of phase, if your little wibbling piece of light is off by a little bit, it'll cancel out. Pretty crazy stuff. That's what gets all the physicists off. I just like the fact that I can put a dot on the wall. I can put a dot on the wall with a laser. But yeah, I've always had kind of an affinity for screwing around with lasers. All those wibbling little laser things. It's adorable. Somebody's got to put a stop to it. That's gonna be me. All right, I gotta find this in the back here. Oh, geez, that barely fits. Am I gonna be able to get both of these through here? I may have to drill out the back of this thing. After all that trouble. Yep, I gotta drill it out. The connector barely fits through. If I drill, the tapered ream I think is too small. Yeah, let's get the drill. Let's get the drill on this. So I can't get the 2 wires. Like the connector will barely fit. So the connector plus a wire doesn't fit. So it's fun. A CD burner from the 90s, 2 lasers, yes. One of them is the one that activates the ink, and the other one is the one that reads the burnt stuff. It's funny though that you should have 2 diodes in there. That must be an earlier one, because later on, again, that 3-pin setup in the laser diode, they managed to combine both of them, so you use the same optics for both. And there's every kind of permutation of that under the sun. Where's my drill? Oh yeah, here it is. I just put it aside. Yeah, whether it be by 2 lasers or 1 single diode that has an infrared and a regular laser in it. Now it's gonna be a big hole, but whatever. What are you building? I'm working on Burn the Subs, which is our wall-mounted laser etching table, quote unquote. It's a scuzzy one, dated 1996. Ooh, yeah, that is the old stuff, isn't it? It's pretty awesome. What are you doing with that thing? You need to update your computer. That's an old computer that you've got there. I don't know if that'll run anything. Is that going to run Star Citizen? So yeah, that's right. Octaj is the big proponent of SCSI around here. So what we're doing is we're working on the laser for Burn the Subs, and we're water cooling it. Why are you water cooling it? I don't have an answer to that. I don't know why I'm water cooling it. I've lost agency in my own life, and I've decided that my wall-mounted laser etching setup needs water cooling. That completely failed, and I should feel bad about that. Oh boy. It is a smooth can. It's not very, it doesn't really like what I just put it through. Let's try on another one. I bought a couple of these for a reason. Yeah, so what this does is it uses the Twitch API in order to grab names, well, the names of subscribers. The Twitch API will provide us with names of people who sub to the channel and in real time, and we vet the name out, we turn it into G-code, and then we throw it up into a motor controller, and that moves it along the, I don't think this is aimed at the right, yeah, it's not, it's aimed at the 3D printer. That moves it around on my wall. And so what that's gonna do is allow us to have this big board that's like a word cloud of subscriber names. Now, I've maybe have done this before, twice. And actually, the label for the Home Depot plank ended up at about the same plank each time. Neat. So yeah, anyway, that's was the bread and butter around here until the second board filled up. It took about 2.5 years for it to fill up with names, which is pretty cool. That's a lot of names. That's a lot of money. But anyway, I'm going to be putting those up as a backdrop to my gaming setup, which is where we have Saturday streams. But in the meantime, we've been trying to get Burn the Subs 3 up, and a lot of stuff has happened in the interim. My 3D printer shit the bed. Just all kinds of different things have just been kind of going right and wrong at the same time, which is any project around here, but it has taken us quite a while to get Burn the Subs up and running and functioning. So we're back to working on it, and I'm not putting a breakneck pace on any of this. We're just going to work through all these problems because there's a lot of cool stuff for us to do in the interim. One of the other things that happened is scope creep, which is a fairly bad word around here, to be honest. Scope creep happens to any project, and this is getting real creepy. This guy right here is a mini... this is just from memory. It's a BTT SKR Mini E3 version 2.0. That's just from, I just memorized that. That right there, this was sent to me, and I couldn't use it on the 3D printer upgrades because I wanted to have dual Z drivers. But I want to use this with Clipper on the board because Clipper has a laser etching mode. So I'm hoping to take advantage of that. We'll see. It is going to take us a little while, and there's going to be a lot of weirdness in the interim. But we'll get there. So I don't want to crush this thing utterly. I would rather just kind of like, you know, drill the larger hole to the size that's going to allow both. Did I just crush it? No. All right. How can I do this? I can use a slightly larger drill bit and work it up. I can walk it out. Walk it out. Oh, or I could use this. Haha! I'm the wiener. Yes, a nice sheet metal. Now this has one flute. That's going to be a bit of a problem. One flute means that it's going to cut in one spot. in spite of it being sort of a nice taper, that's going to make it a little bit difficult. See, the last thing that I want to have happen on stream is for a drill bit to bite in a little bit too hard on something, fling what I'm drilling around, and maybe cause like a toss violation sort of injury. When we were trying to hang up the boards, it slipped and the cable broke because I was trying to hang it on cables. Cable broke and it took a little slice out of my my pinky knuckle. Nothing too bad. It's just surface level, but it's scabbed over now, so it's going to look like a horrible injury for a little while. People do that. Yeah, they laser and laser etch and 3D print on the same machine. There's a whole classification of machines that do that. But I mean, you know, I'm a little older school. I don't like 3D printing. I kind of hate it. But it's been a useful idiot, which is a term that's been coming up a lot. No, 3D printing has been like a tool for me, and it's been a pretty useful tool, to be honest. Knuckles are hard to heal. It didn't get into anything. It literally was just a little slice. So it'll be okay. It's not too perturbed when I move my hand around. And then what I've been doing is every other night I've been putting Neosporin on it and letting it kind of like dissolve the scab so that I get a new scab that's just as flexible. I'm a diabetic. Like, I know how to heal wounds. That's kind of like, wound care is kind of really important. The trick with this is to drill directly into your palm. That made a really nice, that was really nice. That's really nice, actually. I don't know if I want to open it up any more than that, because I kind of want it to be like dust-free. Let's see if that allows for it. That went really, really well. I mean, it's cheap metal anyway, too. It's just those damned drill bits that I bought like 1,000 years ago are just too aggressive. They're too aggressive. Adam Savage technique, is that really? I don't watch a lot of his stuff, man. We've had this discussion before a lot, where basically I try not to watch similar content to my own. Like, I'm not one of these streamers that like closes Twitch, because I like Twitch. I think it's a wonderful platform, and there's a lot of fun there. A lot of fun to be had on Twitch. Fun. So much fun. A lot of fun. Anyway, I love Twitch. I really enjoy it. I watch Twitch, but I don't watch similar content on Twitch, because I can't. Because what I'll do is I'll start taking on a lot of the in-jokes and the mannerisms unintentionally of these other streamers. It's got war wounds from every tool you can collide with your hand. Sounds about right. That sounds about right. It's like when I go into the doctors and they want to draw blood, I'm like, listen, you will never be able to get at this vein. Look, okay, so you guys can see this on thermal. Yeah, right, look at that. So on thermal, you can trace where the big vein in my arm is going, right? And this is typically where they try to draw blood. You can tell by the bruising. Actually, the latest blood draw they took from up here, they actually listened to me. So all the way down here, you can barely see the heat from the vein, right? Some people have veins that pop directly out. Mine don't do that. They're very deep down in there. I guess I'd be really good in a sword fight or something. So the nurses will try to get at this, and I'm like, you just use the palm, it's fine. And they're like, but it'll leave a scar. And I'm like, do you know the absolute state of my freaking hands? Like, there is no area that is not, this is too close. There's no, everything is scars and scratches, and sometimes I do them intentionally. Oh, that's looking real weird, isn't it? I'll get at this one tonight and clean it out. But yeah, I'm like dotted in scars. So cool. I need to see how hard it'd be to convert my Ender 3 to V Pro 2. Yeah, I don't know a lot about that. My 3D printer is a bit of a mutant. It's a mutant, but it's my mutant. And it was a CR10S. And then somebody bought me a Titan Aero V6 head. Put that on there. So now it's direct drive. And then I've been playing with the bed in order to get that right and get rid of the springs on the bed, blah, blah, blah. All this stuff that I've done to my printer makes it kind of weird and unique. Oh, TurboNad. All right, man. I hope you feel better soon. That sucks. getting ill. I got like a tired bug the other day, but yeah, I hope you feel better soon. All right, so we're gonna get this stuff away. Yeah, and we're gonna try to get to the point where we can test out this laser. So let's get the screwdrivers away. Let's get this out of here. We'll put the connector back on this thing. I'll put a lens on it before I can destroy, you know, the destroy its situation. You too, man. All right, let me get the drill bits back to where I'll find them again. Okay, that was a lot louder than I thought it would be. Scissors, back out of here. We gotta do this every now and then just to keep from being completely overwhelmed by all the stuff. The stuff! Savage is hardly similar content. Shop with some similar tools. He's an artist producing visual props, not an engineer making stuff that actually works. I beg to differ. I beg to differ. You may use slightly different tools. I gotta like formulate what I'm gonna say about this. There is a lot of crossover between this and art. A lot of crossover in my mind. Obviously, you can argue with me about this. Anybody can, and I won't cry immediately. I'll just start crying in the background because I'm really bad with confrontation. But anyway, 90% content of reminiscing with Mythbusters. I mean, the amount of Mythbusters we talk about around here kind of puts us in that category, doesn't it? But anyway, my opinions on art and this type of engineering. We do a lot of rapid prototyping. Every now and then I take an aside and I try to educate people. You know, I try to actually teach stuff, in which case that's really when everybody gets really super duper belligerent. But for the most part, around here, we're doing off the cuff engineering. So there may be a little bit of a knowledge base behind what we're doing, maybe a little bit of a engineering mindset, sort of cut out all the excess, cut the fat, and turn it down to details, and then do exactly what needs to be done to all of those details. Engineering is a lot of details, but in between that, there is a lot of artistic stuff going on. And I don't mean my cover for saying autistic. I mean artistic, like actual artism going on here. In that we are coming up with things that are cool and look cool and are also serve our purpose a little bit. I mean, art I guess is defined by its purposelessness, but at the same time, there's a certain artisanal quality to making something that looks good and performs a function. There's a lot of places where I could go for pure function and make something hideous, or I could kind of snazz, you know, make it a little snazzy. Make it look good. Make it look good. So I don't know. I believe that the engineering mindset benefits greatly from artistic training. But again, that's like personal opinion. I don't know. I haven't like exactly looked that up, but it's just something that I feel. So this spring right here is designed to keep our focus level from adjusting without our intentions. Because with any gear mesh, so you got gears that are meshing, right? Any gear that meshes will have backlash. And so backlash does this, right? You get that slight movement. And that could translate to, that could very easily translate to like billionths of meters and stuff like that. You can have backlash compensation when you have an automated system, or you can have mechanisms that try to basically plan for backlash. Or you can change your techniques in order to accommodate backlash. So when I'm using the manual milling machine and I'm moving something back and forth, if I use the little whatever it is, the offset spinny majig that tells me where an edge is, if I use that in order to zero my machine, I always come at it from the same direction every single time. So if I get it misaligned, I'm not going to back the machine up and get it realigned. I am going to move it away and then come back in the same direction. What that does is it allows you to be on the same side of all of the threads. So the same size of all the threads. Where were those 8mm bars? There we go. I got them in reach. I got them right here. I got your millimeter bars right here. I can show you what backlash is with a better display than that. Just because I'm disorganized. So you have two things here And we'll just ignore the fact that it is a rod and another rod. But when these mesh, okay, these mesh too well. They've got too big of a ramp on them. Damn it. I have gears stashed away somewhere in here. I could maybe go get gears, but yeah, I feel like I need to get gears. Now, I'll have to pull some out for later, and I'll like magnet them to the side of the desk. I've got gears that I can actually pull out here and show this with, but if you think of like my fingertips as being the tips of the gears, that's backlash, right? And so the same thing works with like a motion rod and stuff like that. The way to compensate for it is you could put a spring on something that pulls this in one direction. So it's always meshing on the front edge, or it's always meshing on the back edge, whatever you want. But in this case, with the laser diode, you might be focusing it very, very carefully in order to create a coherent beam. It depends on the distance that you want that beam to move. Outside of a laser diode is a bunch of sandwiched layers of stuff that produces the light, right? So when the light is produced inside the laser diode, because we're so good at etching and cutting silicon, we can have two completely parallel edges on it. The problem with the laser diode is that unlike the laser tube that has the two one is semi-mirrored and the other one's mirrored, and you get all those photons that are going in every direction, but the ones that you specify, the ones that you don't cancel out are the ones that can bounce back and forth across these mirrors for a long, long time. If you get the mirrors in very good alignment, when enough of those photons are collected, they get out that front, partially mirrored front side. That's how the tube laser works. The diode laser, everything is sandwiched in this tiny little thing. And so that light goes back and forth and it becomes coherent and cancels out. When it comes out as like an expanding beam. So you get very nice, strong shadows on this expanding beam. Yeah, it's a sandwich of pure science. Delicious, juicy science. So that beam spreads out like a flashlight from a laser diode. But what you can do is get what's called a columnating lens. It's just a lens that you put in the front that'll take that conic beam and it just makes it parallel or whatever. So depending on the distance that you want that laser to go, that dot is still going to expand. And in fact, I think on Burn the Subs, we had it go down to a point, and I think that's where we aimed the board. We wanted the board at the point where that laser came in and made the smallest surface area for the amount of light coming out of the front. And that's what, in the end, made it able to burn wood. This one's not going to need a lot of help. But anyway, in order to keep that columnating lens in place for all the vibration, I put Teflon tape on it. But then in order to keep it focused properly on the right thing, I'm also going to put a spring in there. The Teflon, I mean, what the purpose of Teflon is that it gets in between the threads and it produces this nice slidey, rubbery, slidey material in between your threads, and then you can't get, water won't come out. That's generally the purpose of it. But if you want to like stabilize something with vibration, or maybe your threads are damaged and you want to get a screw in there that's not going to hold a lot of stuff, you can use Teflon for that. I'm going to cough. All right, let me find my Teflon. What did I do with my Teflon? Because I need to put Teflon around this, because we need to actually keep water out. Oh God, there's like a stack of garbage next to me. I need to take the trash out, chat. I didn't take out the trash. There's a pile of garbage. Those are batteries. I'm looking for all the like brewing hookup stuff because I had some Teflon tape in there. I don't think, no, that's not it. Oh, it's diabetes supplies. Let's see. What did I do with my little roll of Teflon tape, I wonder? That one over there. I kind of like have been cleaning up and rearranging stuff, so there should be a pretty common area for me to find this thing. Ow! That was an exposed circuit board. That didn't break skin. I hate through-hole electronics. I hate them. They hurt when you brush up against them. You can leave a mark. Significant mark. Ah, damn it! I thought that was Teflon. I got so close. I'm trying to look through the side area over here where I keep all the overflow stuff. I'll find it. I'll find it. Oh, this stuff is too thick. Well, we could try it. We could try it. this stuff. This is the stuff that you should actually be buying. Not this specific brand, but this, the Teflon tape that comes with stuff is too thin. I could really use it here because I need very thin stuff in order to produce just a slight seal on the threads here. But this, not this specific brand, but like the blue stuff and some of the alternate colors of Teflon, this is what you should be using because you only wrap it a couple times and you get a nice thick layer of Teflon. The other stuff is so thin because it's cheap. All right, let's put this in there. Just get that situated so I don't get any fingerprints on my lens. All the way in. Just about there should be all right. All right, so let's see if I can actually make this work. This is how I'm keeping water out of the body of the laser. If I were smarter, I'm not saying I am, I probably could have done a layer, I probably could have made the back end of the can out of more material. Let's see, this screws in this way, so I want this, so that the end of the Teflon is going with the thread, so it actually can tighten. There's like so little material here, or so few threads, I should say. Round and round we go. I guess the excess is all right. So I don't need too many turns with this stuff. I'll just leave the excess in there. Whatever. Hopefully we don't waterlog our diode. I can screw this in. Oh yeah, that'll be good. Probably could have cut away some of the material because I got to like squish it in order to keep this thing tight. That's all right. That'll be all right. Let me run a blade around the outside. Cut out any of the excess. Ooh, okay, or just scratch the case. Well, I don't know if I can cut out the excess. It's tough. Maybe I could just peel it away. I don't want it to end up in the reservoir or anything, you know? I want it to end up in the water cooling system. I guess what I could have done is run the blade along the edge there and then taken away the extra material ahead of time before tightening it up. I could even still do that, but I'm not going to. Come on. Just use my nail to scratch away the excess. Okay. Our new diode. Looking good. We get this stuff plugged back in. What did I ever do with it? Look at how much of this stuff I have. I used like a millimeter of it. I didn't even use all of it. Most of it is excess. Even the stuff inside of this. All right, so I got that all situated. We need the connector. This doesn't need to be around. Put this aside. We need the connector. Oh wait, did I grab two of these? I think I did. The other one just wandered. Yeah, there it is. These two. There's the connector. My 3D printer part's out of the way. Still want to do a water-cooled 3D printer. I think that would be hilarious. All right, so I got my mark here for negative. For the cathode is in here. I may need to use a pin tool because no, I don't. This wire is not this wire is very flexible. So what'll happen is you'll do a crimp connector, and then the force to get the crimp connector into the housing is too much, and it ends up not cooperating because it's too flexible. All right, here's the diode. Here's the laser. Now, if I just power this thing up right now, it should laze. So let's test that. I'll put it in the clamp, and I am going to get laser glasses because this is a 2-watt laser. And if it doesn't laze, then we'll have to get out my testing setup for the laser diode. So I'll put that in the clamp. I'm going to aim the clamp at a target. I'll have to find that target in just a minute here. I don't really want to shred wood right now, so I'll just get a piece of metal for it. But I need to wear eye protection because I'm the operator here. So what did I do with my laser glasses? They are somewhere in here, or not. Are they in my bag? I think they're in my bag. I usually wear them on the drive home from eye doctor appointments. They're very useful for that. Are they not in here? They're not in here. Okay, what did I do with them? What did I do with my laser glasses? I need my glasses. I can't see without my glasses. My laser glasses. Let me see here. I gotta look around and figure out where they could have migrated to. If they fell off of something, or if I took them down and stashed them somewhere, being like, don't forget this spot, and that's where the laser goggles are. And then I immediately forgot about that spot where the laser goggles are. Goggles are. I'm not seeing them. That's not good. I'm not about to shield my face. I want to be able to observe what I'm looking at while I'm doing this. So I gotta look around. I gotta find them. They're in here somewhere. What the hell was that? Was that a shadow or a bug? It was a shadow. Okay. starting to go get a little paranoid here, Chad. Chasing my own shadow. Check the fridge. They might be in there. I'm not gonna rule that out. Go outside and check for lasers. The sun is a giant laser. You make a religion out of that. Let's see. Are they in the back plate here? What did I do with these things? Watch them be in my car, because I use them to get home from a doctor's appointment. And I probably... They would be around where my bag is, or the bag that I take to the doctor's appointment. I'll find them. Just give me a minute here, Chad. Just give me a minute. Just don't want to laze my eyes out. Blame the Furby. Yeah, you can blame the Furby. You can do that all day. It's still going to kill you in your sleep, because that's what Furbies do. Oh God, my cable's all caught in this. All right, so back over here. Yeah, that light, whenever I move that light, it ends up choking the cable that I use for my mic. Back over here, I've got, oh, it was hanging from that. Ah, damn it. I'm seeing like evidence of it, but I'm not finding it. Evidence of where it was. Shadows of its former protecty laseriness. Is it with med supplies? Let's see. I got a bunch of cases in here. None of them are lasers, though. So my COVID test kits. Oh, don't drop that. No, nothing in there. Next one. I gotta organize these bins. Holy shit. These are like overflow medical supply bins. There's all kinds of weird stuff in these. What was a belt doing in here? No, nothing there. Okay, moving on. Down here. These are all shelves this is like the shelves that are behind my computer desk that you guys don't get to see. There's a lot of weird stuff on these shelves, but I probably need to work on that and figure out what needs to be on the shelf and what needs to not be on the shelf. No. Ooh, almost had an avalanche. Man, if another place gets me a water bottle, I'm going to just have a shit fit. I'm going to go nuts. I don't need any more water bottles. How much water do they think I drink? Good to stay hydrated, but that's just ridiculous. All right, this is the shelf with all the safety stuff in the background. I'm like, you guys might be able to see my hand. Looking her everywhere. I mean, I hate to do safety squints, but I'm probably going to have to. If I'm still unable to find... Yeah, it's not there either. I thought I would have put them on the safety shelf. I have welding goggles, but that's not going to protect against the specific frequency of the laser. I need the laser goggles because they protect against the specific frequency of the laser. Probably have to buy new ones. They're like $35. There's really no excuse to not having them. I just thought I could find mine for today's stream. Turns out I can't. Turns out the way that I've organized myself is so unique. This little laser goggles has completely evaded me. I know you, laser goggles, and I'll find you if it's the first thing that I do today. I think they might be in one of these bins. Hold on. Oh, not there. That's all vacuum stuff. This is all cable organization. There's no laser goggles back there. Nope. That's frustrating. You ever lose something? You ever lose something, Chet? You ever not find something? You ever lose things? I can't. You ever unplug your mic cable, Chad? Do you ever do that? I'm at a loss for what happened to them. Certainly not in a bin. They might be in the back of my car, for all I know. I remember they were getting in the way. I used to have them on a little hook that I could hang stuff from. Like I could hang them on stuff, but then I moved them somewhere else. And that was the opportunity they took to disappear. To vanish, what from this mortal plane. No, not there either. What about over here? Nope. Are they on the wall? No. That'd be a weird place for them, but I wouldn't put it past myself. Behind stuff. I'm just taking a look around now. I gotta use Mark 1 eyeballs, figure out if they're in or on anything that I can observe. No, not seeing them. Piss. Ain't that just my luck? All right. You try the welding goggles. That'll knock down a couple of the watts there of what I can observe. Oh, they're there. Got them. They were in between a pair of headphones. That's gonna cause an avalanche when I get this thing off of here. Found them. Okay, got them. I could use a camera, but I'm in such close quarters with everything that it wouldn't be a good idea. Wouldn't be a good idea, but I got them. Got my laser goggles, so now we can work with impunity. I need 12-volt power supply too, which I can just grab out of here with a barrel connector on it, I guess. Probably could use less. Oh, but here's a 12-volt power supply. 12 volts, 2.5 amps. That should be enough. Okay, all right. Man, they were where I normally put them, but my old pair of headphones was on top of them, and I had a couple other things like blocking it, so I wasn't able to see. God damn it. All right, anyway. 12-volt power supply. Let's make sure the barrel's the right kind. Nope. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. So when I plug that in, we're going to get lasing coming out of the front of this thing. I'm going to put a big heat sink on unstable ground right in front of it. I need something to hold that steady, or I just need a different thing. But this is matte black, so it's probably the best thing that I can use. So I just prop it up against the end of the desk. Oh my god, I gotta do trash after today. All right, there's our target. Just done like that. Glasses off. Glasses on. Coolness amplified. Are we ready to go? I hope this works. We got more stuff to do with this, so if this doesn't work, we're in trouble. But yeah, everything is very green right now. If you guys want to see what that looks like here, It's weird. Everything is just one specific frequency of green. It's really odd. You guys can't really see it in that. I mean, maybe this one will, yeah, this one will do the brightness compensation. Yeah, everything is just like that. I used to have a pair of vintage laser goggles that were of the same frequency, but the point of that is it's blocking the reds and the blues. These are mainly blue. I bought these specifically for blue. So everything is this sort of like drab military green color. It's olive. Everything is olive. All right, please don't explode because I got you plugged into this and not a power supply. I don't like how that rolls around. All right, let's see what we get. We're on thermals? Yeah. All right, here we go. Oh, no, I can't get to my... Ugh. Why do I work all the way over on this side of the desk, huh? Why do I do this to myself? What is that plugged into? Oh, that's the... I can unplug that. These wall warts take up like all the plugs. There we go. Go! Okay, nothing's happening. Whoa, okay, there is... Oh, something is happening. I just couldn't observe it. That does not look very bright. That doesn't strike me as 2 watts. It's also a very disorganized beam. So I collimate the lens, collimate the light coming out. Oh, see, I need to look up and observe it on the camera. All right, so I got to turn this off. That's getting warm already. You can see on the plastic, on the Teflon up there, that it's getting quite warm. So I can't run it with the spring. The spring compresses too much, and I won't be able to get focus. Although we were focusing it at quite a distance. So let me get a measurement to the wooden board, and we'll move things to that measurement and see where we are. I just want to get this configured as close to the real thing. Now that is generating heat. That is very warm for having been operating for just a minute. Let's see. That camera. I need a ruler. And get our approximate distance here. I can get a more accurate distance. It's just for now. Oh, that's actually very close. All right, so to the top of the thing, it's somewhere around... No, that's not good enough. I need to actually observe the measurement. I can't. 55 millimeters. You got 55 millimeters to the target. And if this goes wrong, I'm going to have to change the 3D print so that I can move it back a little more. Because we had a lot more distance on the old one because the boards were thinner. Holy crap, that's close. That's about 55. Right there. So we needed to focus on that from the front of the vise. Right now it's spreading out, so I need to get that all the way in. I'll probably have to put a mask over this. Now, at a certain point, it starts expanding again, but this is about where we would get enough energy to burn wood. So going from there to there. I don't know if this is 2 watts. I'm going to observe it normally. Okay, that's... I'm keeping the glasses on. That is way too bright. Look at the heat that's being generated in the heat sink. Well, it's not crazy notable, but it is definitely getting more than ambient. I'm going to clamp the vise a little bit so we move some heat out and away from that. So how can I explain to you guys that this thing is in fact getting pretty toasty out there? What's this kit? Springs and switches. It's a clear material, so it may not do anything. Yeah, it didn't do anything to a clear material. It is getting warm though. I gotta power it off again before we do damage to it. Getting pretty toasty. So yeah, I can't look at that without the glasses on. and we'll have to tune that so that it doesn't produce a whole lot of smoke. Yeah, the driver will get warm. I mean, it is getting pretty hot. You're right. That's kind of held in open air, and I'm assuming that this can handle itself in terms of the heat generated. And really, the laser can handle itself too, I think. I don't think we're going to get towards the threshold of heat where the laser's going to start losing power. But if we do, well, I'm not going to water cool the driver. I got to draw the line somewhere. I got to draw the line somewhere. Where did that block of test? I got this block of wood. I got the Lurker block. I can show you what it does to the Lurker block. This is a test block from the old days of the old days of burning. But the problem is it's going to create smoke now. So here we go. Yeah, that's pretty fucking bright, huh? That's pretty impressively bright. So what I need to do is tune that laser so that it doesn't create a lot of that smoke. We had it previously working so that it would just create a couple little wisps of smoke. But you can see the amount of heat that gets transmitted over to it. I'm sorry, Lurker. I'm so sorry. I don't think I can get far enough to match him. It's Lurker. So yeah, you guys should know, yeah, this is like 2 watts that's being focused into a very like sub-millimeter point of light. So it's creating a lot of burning. That's why I went with the heatsink as the first target. And you can see here, just by the fact that the heatsink is notable against the background, that some heat did go into it. Now it is a heatsink, so I'm not really detecting a whole lot of, you know, it's not even body temperature. But the fact that it got it over ambient was pretty crazy. It got it like well over ambient. That's what I'm talking about. Bout of nausea? Oh man, I get those a lot. I hate it. Good to have you back, man. Yeah, we're doing just like laser sea trials here. Yeah, the camera adjusts itself, and so you guys end up getting kind of what is a more tame impression of what the temperatures are. The Olympic spewing team. Ugh. Ugh. I saw a video on the internet. Believe it or not, chat, I saw a video on the internet the other day. Isn't that crazy? They have videos on that thing. But yeah, the video that I saw was this guy did the actual, like, what is the Jersey Turnpike shot, where you empty the mop into the shot glass. There was a lot of puking going on in that video, and I don't ever want to watch it again. Never, never again. Never, ever, ever again. It just, that's what I thought of when you said the Olympic spewing team. Ugh. So yeah, boom, laser. Pretty good. And if we want to, and I gotta put the glasses back on for this. I need to be careful about looking at that dot. It doesn't seem too bright. There's the focusing point though. That's probably the better beam. See, I need to find about where it creates the least smoke. That's sort of the goal. Because yeah, what it's doing right now is it's creating a wood fire in here. All right, I'm gonna stop doing this for a bit. I gotta stop doing this for a bit because it's filling the room with smoke. Yeah, it might be I might need to get the wood screws out and create a little rig for testing that. Look at that heat though. That's cool. Yeah, I made a point to go and find the safety specs. So I've got cruise control for cool going on here. I will not be viewing the laser outside of these goggles. These are what I drive home with. These are how I get home from a retina appointment. These are how I'm what who hum ha ho ha ha. Hee ha. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I've lost all faculties. I'm gonna let the smoke dissipate a little bit because I'm smelling wood smoke a lot right now, because that's all that was producing. just concentrated amounts of wood smoke. I'm sorry, Earth Lurker. I am for real. That was very Seussian, yes. Very sus. So, yeah, I think we're going to be able to burn faster, which is not necessarily something that I wanted to do. I didn't really want to burn faster with the board. I thought the pacing of the old one was really good, but we need that speed in order to accommodate for the extra power of the laser. So names are going to go up fast. They're going to boop, 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 done. It's just the way it is. I want to get my plastic lensed glasses away from that. We have done this in the past, by the way. Token the Oak. That sounds like something out of like the animated Lord of the Rings movie. Which Smiling Friends actually got that animator. That's hilarious. Could it go at a lower point to make up for the speed change? I mean, what I could do is try to get the distance right or tune it out with the power supply, but we're just gonna test and work with what we got. I mean, you know, that's kind of how we did the last time. It'll just have to go fast. Gotta go fast, Sanic. And I could also turn the laser power down by changing the speed, or sorry, changing the PWM that goes to it, because it is a TTL input. We don't need to have a big driver. I don't know. It might be about the same pace as the other one. It really does need time at this distance to affect things. You know, if you linger it too long, it'll do stuff, but oh my god. Is Smiling Friends any good? Yeah, it's kind of like a celebration of animation styles. I thought it was extremely fun. I also listened to some interviewers with them. I like animation, you know. I really like animation. I've been a fan of it for a long time. I've never been a professional in it, but yeah, I think they did a wonderful job, and they've got a couple of really good jokes in there, you know. Only a couple. It's just weird. It's that Adult Swim brand of weird where you're watching TV at like 3 a.m. You wake back up because you were watching something earlier, and then that show comes on, and you just don't understand like reality at that point, because Adult Swim does some stuff that just like very strange. I love it. I love Adult Swim for that. I had a buddy who made a couple of the bumps for Adult Swim. It was nuts. Yes, it's like fucking Squidbillies. What the hell is that show? What the heck? All right, so I have already opened up the carrier. This is not hot at all. I've opened up the carrier, and I should be able to get... I need some cleaning out. Is this the other one? Oh, it looks like it's not going to fit with this on there because of the knurling. Which one did I work with? Which one of you? Are you my baby? Which one is my baby? Which one is baby? Hold on. I think it's this one. Yeah, this one looks like it was worked on. So I need to get this onto the shroud, and then I need to put a bead of silicone around the bottom. And then I can do the same thing with the nipples. And then this will be what carries the laser diode and has water pumped through it. Ah, damn you, static force of friction. As soon as I overcome it, it goes too far. There I go. All right, so I'll leave a little bit of a lip there. I'm not even sure. I'll leave a little less of a lip there. There, just like that. So now a little bit of the jacket and then this part are going to be exposed to water. This is in PETG. So what I need to do is I need to cut the tip off of this thing because the very, very tiny little tip on this syringe. By the way, I don't know how the Omnipod gets refilled. I don't know if they're using syringes or not. So my infinite supply of moderately sized Luer lock front syringes is going away, my 3 milliliter. I believe that I can get these on Amazon, especially without sterile needles on the end, with a lure lock on it. So if I need more, I can probably buy them. I still have an archive of them. But yeah, because I'm switching pump technology, I may be losing my supply of syringes. And I use these for anything that I need to apply. I transfer into a syringe, and then I use either disposable plastic or those metal syringe tips that have been cut flat and are not sterile. You can get like 1 billion of them for $1. But they're really good when you need control. And I always need control. All right, let me make sure these two things seat before I need to introduce a bunch of yeah, I need to clean that out. My water hookups. We'll see how they do. I hope they do okay. Or I'll have water all over my desk, either way. Open that up a little bit more. I probably should have made the holes a little larger too. But here we are. In a sea of mistakes that we've already made. I can probably press that in with a vise. I'm going to do that. I think if it has a little bit more of a mechanical, like, friction fit, it'll be able to survive some of the bullshit that I want to put it through. Oh, I might not be able to open the vise enough. Man, there's wood smoke in here. It's stinky. Kind of anticipated that, but you know, you never know where stream's gonna take you. The other thing I could do is, okay, I caught it. It's somewhere on my crotch. I caught it. My crotch caught it. Here we are again, where things will fly away. Yeah, if I can get a little bit more of a friction fit on this, then I'll be able to like plug and unplug tubes from it and stuff, and not totally break it every time I try to manipulate it. Please don't break the rest of the housing. That would make me very sad. Okay, good. Please, just the one thing I don't want you to do is to break the entire housing. Just crack it in half. I mean, it's not terribly brittle, this plastic, but at the same time, you saw me shatter the thing earlier on stream, and it created a bunch of shards of plastic, so, you know, it's a possibility. All right, where tweezers? I don't have tweezers. I'm just going to manipulate it with this. Try to get it to kind of like stick. There we go. And then use the vise as my pusher. Oh, I got to loosen it again and straighten it out. Because what's going to happen is, if I'm not careful, it's going to catch one of the ridges and then crack the whole thing in twain. Very carefully now. Okay. Look at this thing. Yeah. It's so weird. Well, let's get water all over it. So I need to, I guess I'll just clamp it like this so that it stays still, and then I'll run a bead around all the stuff, and then I got to do the one on the other side. So let me test this thing out first, I guess. This thing's going to be my target. I'll have to clean it off. Yeah, see, there's like a plug. there's like a caulk plug. Oh, wait a sec. This stuff is all solidified. No. Oh, I didn't end up getting it out. There's like a piston shaped. Oh well. I guess I'll have to start a new one of these. That goes in the garbage. Whoop. New syringe. Who dis? Hold on, let me go get one. That's this. And then I need a tip for it, which is in the glue bin. Glue bin. Glue bin's like an alien name. Yep. I wonder if the UV epoxy would be enough to hold back the water. UV epoxy doesn't really bond all that well, does it? Doesn't really bond all that well. I think I'm fated to use this stuff. This dumb stuff here, this very rubbery sort of Home Depot. I think I got this at an Ace Hardware. Oh, okay, so that's not moving. So that's not moving. I took that personally. That out. Don't need the syringe part of it. This will wait. And then I need to actually get in here. I could treat it like an insulin bottle and just put the syringe to the side. Actually, I don't think that would fill properly if I did that. I guess just like a pair of pliers. This is the best. So this is always how you pinch yourself with a pair of pliers, right? Is by doing weird shit like this. There we go. Oh, that stuff's looking a little weird. This is why the caulk gun has that big pokey bit that you can fold out, because you can poke it with that big wire and it'll open up this stuff. I think this will work. I think I have to go from the other side. It would be nice to just be able to do it this way, though. No, it's not going to work. Okay. So now when I back off of this, there's going to be all this back pressure? Oh, apparently not. Okay, so we'll just do it this way. This stuff is getting pretty solid. I don't know. Yeah! Okay, that's good enough. Good enough. Just recap it without peeling anything off. This is why it was hard to remove. All right. Put stuff up to there. This thing. Oh, wait, hold on. Yep, okay, that's good. Get it on this thing. Now, the one thing you need to do, yeah, a big nail is another, yeah, exactly. But the caulk guns come with that. I didn't discover that until I was an adult. So the one thing about this is that it'll continue to flow after I'm done. Like, sometimes quite a bit. So you got to back off the cylinder a little bit just to get that pressure out of there. I mean, the problem with the old one was that the entire thing solidified. So I don't know. I don't know if this is such a viable thing. It's that exposure to oxygen, I guess, that gets it. But yeah, now I've got a ton of control over what I'm doing because I've got this teeny tiny little tip over here in order to exude caulk. So yeah, let's just sloppily get a seal going around these things. Can I do this so that you guys can observe? I mean, that was an okay angle. I just need to focus the camera for it. If I can do this, but still be comfortable. That's a tough ask. That's a tough ask. Damn it. Move everything out of the way. Everything's got to go out of the way. I got to be able to access this stuff. There's... I'm gonna get my palm is gonna end up getting in that. All right, here we go. Perfect. Sort of. Now, the only thing I gotta be concerned about is completely embarrassing myself by putting too much of this stuff down. I'm putting way too much of this stuff down. Gotta make sure it squishes in, though. Ugh, I don't have anything to like wipe it with, so remember this is just our initial testing, so it might, you know, might come up with other solutions. I should have gotten black, because then I would be able to see it. All the translucent stuff is like blending in. Okay, that around there. All right, hopefully that seals. We'll find out. This one is pretty important too. Shit, that one was not important. I mean, there's finger oil all over this stuff, right? Like if I was smart, I guess what I would do is wipe this down, just put like a, not wipe it, I mean, you know, wipe it down, get the finger oil off of it, and then do this, and then like swipe it so that it has a nice surface to it. But I think this will be okay. Just wipe that. Just to make sure that it squishes in. There's no, like, you know, bubble tubes. I mean, this is very amateur stuff, guys. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at this by any means. I know a set of tools and how to use them, but not well. So I can make a more professional looking one later. All right, and then flip them over. Now we're on the business end. You don't want to know about the business end of my laser. See, that gap right there is what we're trying to fill. I wonder if you could use heat to like slightly manipulate the plastic and get it to actually like produce a seal. And it certainly does have kind of like a stickiness to it when it gets warm. I don't want to get it on the lens. I know the lens is far away, but it's less far away than you think. Sloppy, sloppy, sloppy. Not my best work. Probably could have done better work without making sure that it was on camera, though. Yeah, that's always the thing. I gotta make sure stuff ends up on camera. All right, so that's pretty good. So I gotta let this set. So I don't think we're gonna actually get to, oh, damn it. I hate to do another short stream, you know? It's not like I don't have stuff to work on, but I really want to get this running with everything else. Let's plug in the whole water cooling system, at least, but then I think I'm gonna have to take an early leave for this stream, and then we'll come back to this stuff when this has had Wednesday to dry. So, I mean, my next stream is Thursday. That's because that's my schedule. And we'll get back to it, and then we'll have a bunch of stuff to do, including the stick shift, because I'm getting the parts in. I know, Adam, I know. No, like, yeah, I wanted to go for long streams all this week. We'll do, you know, our Thursday, Friday, Saturdays are going to be longer this week. So, I think we'll be able to manage that. It's funny because today would be strategically a very good day for me to go late because of all the shenanigans with Discord getting me a bunch of viewers. Whenever a service goes down or a streamer doesn't stream, I seem to have a better day. I should actively try to destroy things in order to get more viewers. But yeah, we gotta now wait for this to set. 24 hours probably for me to be able to run water through it, and I would think, you know, a little longer than that for actually being able to trust it with all the mechanical stuff I'm going to be putting it through. I'm just going to like squish more of this stuff on top just to make sure, just to be certain about this making a seal, because it is very sloppy. It is very sloppy, but if it does its job, we'll be good. Do hot tub stream. Only for you, Bob Leg. Yeah, it's a little melty. I kind of printed this a bit hot. But hey, if this works, we're going to use it. It's kind of a cool little thing, huh? Looks like a little piece of sci-fi. But yeah, what that'll allow us to do is run ever so tiny of a tiny little bit of water all around that jacket. And if this doesn't flow right, because it is rather restrictive, there's not a whole lot of room there. It's spreading the water out and moving it across, so I think we get enough volume on that. But I can always expand this. That's easy to do in CAD. We just put a new number in there, and then I can print out a new one. So, and then I need to expand the top and the bottom hole. Those are pretty good. I like those as press fit, so I would leave those alone. And then yeah, I think that would be You know, I'd have to do all the silicon again. It's gonna have a hell. I got 3 of these 2-watt lasers, so you know, if we fail, we can at least spool up another one. But I would like to give this the proper chance to set, because I don't want to deal with... I think this stuff is waterproof, but I just don't want to deal with the gloopiness. I want to put this aside, and I'm going to let it fully dry, and then we'll come back and we'll do a stress test on this thing. So I'm an hour earlier than I normally am. It's still about 4 hours of stream. So I'll be back on Wednesday, and we're going to have a lot of stuff to do. Will the plastic conduct enough heat to the water? It doesn't, no. See, the laser, okay, the way this thing works is that we have a laser diode. I'm not doing Wednesday. No, Thursday. Not Wednes. Why are you saying that in all caps? You're worrying me. We got a laser diode that's producing a lot of heat, right? It's a couple layers of silicon, a lot of amps going through it. That's producing heat. That is press fit into a metal ring that has threads on either side. Some of the threads are for the lens. The other threads are for the backing, which typically carries also the driver, the electronic driver for the laser diode. But that ring, that metal ring, is what you need to cool. So you can do a variety of things. Some people just put it into a big copper block with a set screw. Some people put big heat sinks on it with fans. I want to run water to it. Water cooling in lasers is not unheard of. It's done quite a lot, actually. Powerful lasers require quite a bit of cooling. So we're doing it for the memes, but that water is in contact with the large can that typically houses electronics. In this case, it's just air, and the heatsink can. So if we can get water to just touch it, that should be enough to give it a little bit of cooling. We're going to flow water through it. So the PETG, the 3D print, is just surrounding that. And it could have almost been any plastic. It could have almost been wax, because it's in contact with the water, and the water's keeping everything cool. But we'll see what happens. We're going to do a stress test on Thursday. We're going to do a stress test on this thing, where I just run the laser, and we have water pumping through it, and we can figure out where the water reaches sort of a nominal temperature. I'll have to drop a thermometer into the water somehow. Maybe I'll just use a multimeter thermometer. Oh, this stuff is so filthy. I gotta clean all this stuff out. Yeah, anyway, so that's the plan. We're gonna get back to it on Thursday. I've run out of stuff to do. Not really, but I'm waiting for parts for everything else to get done. And I gotta start Googling how to move an app from one phone to another. I have thermocouples. They require a multimeter to run. I have that one specific thermocouple that came from the Drexel Labs, but I think it's been sitting so long that it's not a thing that I want to use. Enormous Swiss cheese. How else do you make Swiss cheese? It must be enormous. Yeah, I was thinking about something like that. Like, what if I wanted to make another board? Now that the hardware is gone, unfortunately, I can't do that. But like at one point, my uncle was like, "Hey, can you etch something on wood for me?" And I'm like thinking about it, like, no, like I can't, because everything is catered to that board. If I wanted to at some point with the old board, I could have taken it down, put a new one up, and hit go for. I'd have to do a database edit on everybody in order to make them unburnt, and then it would put everybody back. And I'm like, how stressful would that be for the laser? No, what we're going to do is we're going to run the laser solid for an extended amount of time. And it'll be more of a stress test than it'll typically get. And we're running water to the laser through the full length of tubing, or at least what I assume is the full length of tubing, going all the way up the arms of the laser until it gets to the actual driver itself. And we'll see if the driver gets too hot too. We might need a heat sink on it. I don't know which component here would need a heat sink, but this is getting a little toasty. Then again, this is sitting out in open space, and so it'll get ambient airflow on it. Yeah, that person's name, I forget what it was, but yeah, that we'll do that name. That name didn't, it's not that the name stressed it out, it just didn't fit. This is like the shinier print that I used supports for, but the supports got stuck inside. Plus, this is using the old slicer, so not that great. And then this one was straight edges on the insides didn't really work out. There's a lot of drooping going on because of my bridging and just how it was sliced. So what I ended up doing was tapering the edges, which kept them together mostly. So that one has tapered edges, not as much volume, but it's not going to be, it's splitting hairs. Alrighty, dip and trip. I am about to end here. I'm about to end here. We got through a lot of stuff today. We put a laser together. We put our heavy driver into our water cooling jacket. Reddit is down. Fuck. AWS is back. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. Oh, that's bad. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna go like have dinner or something, and I'll be on Discord. Yeah, they're not up here. I'll be on Discord. Everybody watch Blazing Saddles. Yeah, that's where all the sound effects. They're like public domain fart noises. Oh, top right. Oh yeah, Discord. Okay, there it is. Yeah, yeah. I'll be on Discord. I'll be on Discord. Why are they not blue? Anyway. So Thursday, stress test for the laser. We're gonna build the shifter. I have been champing at the bit to build that shifter. Parts are coming in today, and I'm not gonna be able to hold myself back. I'll wait for you guys to build it because it's a silly little build. But after that, man. All right, I'll see you guys later. You guys take care. Back on Thursday, and yeah, there the end card is there. Join me, Discord.